but we'll cut their heads instead.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents the Neil Rogers Show. To talk to Neil, call 560-560. Toll free for Dade and Broward or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil and his guests.
No.
Anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisitions, or the Beasley Broadcast. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Hi, Papa Juan Pablo.
It's Friday, you bastards.
Free drugs. Tonight I have free drugs. Tool, hard on, take it. Tool, hard on, take it. Bust. The longest tool, the highest tool, the smallest tool. My fellow Americans, I stand before you tonight. Hard on, growing, hard on, expanding, hard on, rising. I reach out my tool to all of you, a rock solid hard on, free drugs. Tonight I have free drugs. Tool, hard on, take it. Tool, hard on, take it. And ask that we join together in saying to the American people, take it.
Oh, God. You know, right there in, how long was that? 39 seconds. Was more entertainment than I've heard all morning long. Now, that's not for our morning show. I haven't been listening to them. Of course, I never do. But, I mean, I made a bad mistake this morning, which I'll never make again. Well, don't never say never, because I said that once before. Well, I got sucked in, you know. And I must have been the only one that got sucked in by the hype.
No, I listened also.
Oh, God. If there's anybody that tried to call Rick and Suds this morning, please call in. No, I mean, if there's anybody that tried to call him and talk about that OJ thing, see, because I know that they do that real heavy screening. I hate talk stations where they do heavy screening, where they do any screening. That's what makes it boring, including on the sports shows. What do you want to talk about, and what's your shoe size, and do you agree with the host, and do you have any idea what you're talking about, and, you know. What a bunch of crap that is. In one of the most, and again, keep in mind that I'm saying one of the most desperate publicity stunts in the history of broadcasting, Stupid Talk Radio, did I say that right? Radio, has done this OJ thing now. And, of course, it must be just a coincidence that they did it after I talked 2 days ago about the fact that Roy Foster was desperately trying to get his good buddy,
Roy!
OJ, in here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I first discovered this in the paper on page 2A in the Herald this morning. I opened up my paper to the inside second page. By the way, some really bad chronics there at the end of the morning show on this station. That Mark guy, whatever that guy's name was. Oh, did you hear that one? That voice. I mean, you are so chronic, mister, it just makes me want to barf. I almost had a bad, right here in the chair. I almost did a Randy Rhoads in the chair. I almost did a Roy Foster and had bloody oozing stools right here in the chair after hearing that voice. Talk about chronic. But anyway, so I turned to page 2A because I always check out those little columns. I mean, I have a certain way of reading the newspapers, which you can do in this town in about 17 minutes. Read both papers cover to cover in about 6 minutes, in about 17 seconds. So anyway, it says, but does he want to tell you? Since OJ Simpson is shopping for digs in South Florida, radio station WINZ AM, Super Talk 940. Yes, I'm giving you a lot of publicity again. Okay, guys, it worked. There you go. Oh! Won't help. Stupid Talk 940 has seen fit to offer him a radio gig from 10 a.m. to noon weekdays to tell his new neighbors his side of the story. If he's got the guts, we've got the mic, says John Ford, Super Talk Radio's assistant program director, the pay $1,000 a day. Now stop and think about that. Do you know anybody in this business on the air who gets paid by the day? Anybody ever hear of that?
No.
Gets paid by the day?
No.
So in other words, and they also said that they were willing to give him the $1,000 or the charity, his favorite charity of his choice. So I guess they figure that maybe it might not last like a whole day. Like maybe 10 to 11 would be like $500. 10 to 10:15 would be like $250, $125, something like that. Can you imagine the phone calls? This is a guy that's going to do a talk show. I can just hear. In fact, I guarantee I know what the first call would be because I would make it because I would take off sick that day. And by the way, bring him on, guys. Oh! Yeah. I can just see the headline after the next rating book right now. Rogers kills OJ.
Oh!
Rogers buries the juice.
Oh!
Yeah, I can see it now. I mean, are you kidding? Are you people out of your minds? Is that your problem over there?
Uh-huh.
How about desperate?
Uh-huh.
Does that ring a bell? Desperate. I mean, so I turned on channel surfing this morning, and lucky me, Channel 4 News, 7:30. And there's the whole story. Thank God you people at Channel 4 News are smart enough not to get sucked into a stupid publicity stunt by Stupid Talk Radio. Thank God you're sharp enough not to get sucked in on that. And they're doing the guys over there, and he's holding the mic. Oh, he's making props for this story. Yeah, if OJ's got the time, they've got the microphone, and they got the $1,000 a day and all this other crap.
How come they didn't interview Peter Bolger?
Because what does he know about radio? I didn't see them interview anybody.
Why would they stick the assistant out there or quote him? Why not
the assistant?
The boss?
Maybe Peter Bolger was too embarrassed, although I doubt that he has much of an embarrassment factor, but even he probably was too embarrassed to go on there and admit that this desperate, and of course he probably could always deny that he had anything to do with it when the sponsors starting and canceling left and right, saying, OJ's going to be on your station. Okay, we're crossing you assholes off the list. Although it sounds to me like they already, most of them have. So I get sucked in myself in this morning for the first time in a long, I'm having trouble staying awake right now. I got to be honest with you. I'm serious. I'm in a coma. I feel like Rip Van Winkle.
Would you like some Dunkin' Donuts coffee?
No, thanks. I don't want to get that hyper. In fact, the Dunkin' Donuts, it was very delicious. Thank you very much. But that breakfast sausage and bacon and cheese and that whole thing that I ate, that's why I'm so lethargic. I don't eat breakfast. Do I ever eat that early? No. And I had my blood sugar this morning was 97. Pretty good. I like that. That was a nice number. I bet you right now we wouldn't want to take it. Not that anybody cares. I'm not looking for sympathy. I didn't ask for it. George offered it, and I said, okay. The Dunkin' Donuts people, I don't want to get on their bad side, and we'll screw up the free food for the morning team. But stop feeding me stuff that I don't need. Not that early in the morning, okay? In addition to which, why did he have to make like 85 layers of it, you know?
No, I told him to.
Yeah, well, that's your fault. Of course, George now is like, waiting in the wings. He's just flitting around in the wings. Oh, by the way, you'll be pleased to know, those of you who hate George like poison, that Monday being a holiday, I won't be here, of course, and he won't either. We're playing
the Jeff Rimmer show.
Yeah, it's the Jeff Rimmer and OJ Simpson show. Let's see which one pisses you off first, the most. No, it's going to be a tape. And Robert, Grim Robert, will be here. We may hear the same spots 8 or 9 times, but Robert will be here on Monday. Isn't that wonderful? You'll hear a tapes for those of you who hate Joe, whatever his name is, George.
Either one of us.
And Joe. So anyway, I get sucked into tuning in this morning to a stupid talk to Rick and Suds for the first time in a long, long, long time, because I got really, Rick talking about the stock market, and fair value is -2. Jesus. Doing his poor man CNBC imitation. So I listened leaving the house, and I listened even right here. We have our little radio that our good friend Davey Gravyline gave us when we first moved over here. I didn't hear them talking about it. I heard one stupid promo on there saying, they don't use the call letters. That's another brilliant move. Stupid Talk Radio, the new home of OJ Simpson, maybe. Did I hear a call about it?
No.
Did I hear them talking about it?
No.
So maybe we can get some spy reports. I must have missed something. Is it conceivable that it was on television and in the newspaper and that nobody called about it?
No.
No. Is it more likely that maybe they were screening out anybody that wanted to talk about it? Really? I don't know. I don't want to assume anything. All I know that, Rick, I'm serious. I know it's a holiday weekend and it's the dog days and everything, but the hour and a half that I invested in my life this morning, I could have been pulling hairs out of my nose. I could have been picking seeds out of my rectum. Had a more productive morning. I mean, guys, I know everybody needs to eat. I wish you nothing but the best, especially Suds and Adam. But, oh, my God, radio in this market is so bad. Maybe OJ might be, at least something. Huh? Like the final nail in their coffin. Sounds like to me. Bring him on. I bet you he could be almost as big as Sandy Payton and that bitch, that babbling brook, put together. We'll get some spy reports on that, I guarantee you. So I'll be here till 1 o'clock today. George will be on from 1 to 2 for those who hate George, just to make up for the fact that he won't be on Monday. Isn't that why you're doing it?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, piss off the people that hate you like poison. 10 minutes after 10 at 560 WQAM. Don't...
No matter how hard I try, don't understand why this Y2K such a hot topic today. People storing their soup cans, withdrawing money from their banks. You're such a bunch of silly geeks, acting like paranoid freaks. Oh, do you believe in Y2K?
No.
Y2K, Y2K. I feel something inside me say, there's really no need to hide and pray, no. Do you believe in Y2K? Y2K, Y2K, Y2K. I feel something inside me say, there's really no need to hide and pray, no.
10:15 at 560, your indigestion station for the 90s, WQAM. We got, what do we got today? Hank Goldberg at 2, here in the studio again. Is that possible? Hank's going to, in the building 2 days in a row. We got Talking Baseball with Donnie B at 6 o'clock to fill up a half hour before the Marlin pregame show. The Reds here in Miami to play the Marlins tonight at 7 o'clock. Any interest?
No.
Okay. See, I was talking about shameless publicity stunts. I'll give you one that was even worse, which George and I were discussing this morning. In a moment. Lauderdale by the Sea, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, I caught the beginning of the show, Rick and Suds.
Yes.
They, before the show started, they played the promo about that, and Rick and Suds came on, and they're like in a state of shock. They weren't informed of it ahead of time.
Uh-huh.
And they couldn't get a hold of anybody in the management. And they said basically that they would walk if such a thing happened.
They actually said that?
Yeah. And
all right, let's hear it for Suds.
Oh!
Even Rick.
And they took like 2 calls on it, and one guy said it would be okay because everybody could tell him off. And the other caller said that John Ford should quit listening to you, Neil. And
yeah, exactly. That's right.
And Rick
hey, how you doing, John? You asshole. We know you're listening. And hey, listen. They admit that everybody over there listens to the show every single day. Folger's listening right now. That little pusillanimous putz John Ford is listening right now at Super Talk Radio, who's still doing stuff from the 50s, the 1850s.
And Rick said, is it that obvious, of course, about that? But
you ignorant slut.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they decided to just ignore it and hope that it would just go away. So that's why they didn't.
Well, I got news for it. Sure would have been a lot more exciting than the crap they were talking about this morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that they, without...
Maybe I just caught them on a bad day. I realized it's a holiday weekend. That was the most terminal, almost 2 hours that I ever... And I kept waiting specifically. I tuned in for a specific reason, and I didn't even hear that. I heard about Evel Knievel and some stunt gone bad, and then I heard a lot of rambling about Disney World. I heard 3 phone calls, and that was it in like 2 hours. What kind of a show is that?
I think maybe since they couldn't get a hold of management, they didn't know what was going on. They didn't want to
need help.
They didn't want to get into it, maybe without knowing what they were doing.
So I take back what I said. In other words, they didn't grow up here. Okay, I retract that.
I'm just guessing.
Because if Rick really grew up here, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, okay.
I'd be really shocked. Thank you, sir, very much.
All right.
God bless you. See, there's a spy report. We got a big crossover with Rick and Spuds, don't we?
Uh-huh.
Sure. That one guy. Hey, we'll get some others. Maybe they weren't screening out anybody. Maybe just nobody cares, you know? I didn't see any tremendous response here a couple of days ago when I was getting all bent out of shape about you-know-who.
Roy!
I want to mention his name on the air. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Before we go into that other thing about the broad with the Hershey kisses. Oh, man, you veteran old IOD listeners, I'm going to tell you, that day, that was the most disgusting and grotesque. I mean, we all get desperate in this business. I get desperate here every day because I'm talking to a bunch of dead people in a place where the average age is 200. What do you expect? But, I mean, sometimes you do things that are so patently, obviously desperate at anybody else's expense. That's the thing. Why do something at somebody else's expense? It's like calling somebody an asshole. Would I ever do that?
No.
No. Would I call John Ford an asshole?
No.
No, even though, of course, he is. Everybody knows he is. Would I call Pete Bolger an assassin, a backstabbing, life-destroying piece of turd? Would I do that?
No.
No. Even though everybody over there and everybody in the market knows that he is. I hope he has a lot of sleepless nights. Here's a traffic report in Pembroke Pines. I bet it's in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Neil, it's on northbound on 95, right north of the Pembroke Road exit. There's all lanes of 95 are blocked. You got everybody out there. Somebody got hurt. It's a big deal, so everybody should just watch out for going north on 95, south of Pembroke Road there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
God bless you. There you go.
Boy!
See, it's a holiday weekend. I heard about the thing on the, was it the Julia Tuttle, and now we got I-95, and we got all kinds of crap going on because you people are out of control. It's not even officially the holiday weekend yet. It's only Friday morning, and already we got people out of control. I noticed coming to work this morning, it was kind of light. I thought most everybody was out of town by now. At least I was hoping. I would have thought anybody with a brain would already be out of this godforsaken place. So what the hell am I still doing here? Well, 1 o'clock I'll be gone. Long gone. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. I hate to break the news to you, Rick, but not a big crossover here with this show. Not a big crossover with that stupid talk. They're probably all listening to Dr. Laura right now. Bitch out all the men. Cuss him out, that man-hating piece of turd. Not that I would attack Dr. Laura, you understand, because that would be an act of desperation on my part. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm one of your crossovers.
Okay.
Waiting for the
cross-dresser.
Those glory days back at IOD. Now we got to jump around the dial to get everybody.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I got to get on the computer to hear him.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but wait a minute.
Who said Phil Hendrie wouldn't be on QAM, right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I know Rick in his car, his truck, right now.
Is he?
On his way to his computer store, and I'm sure.
Is he allowed to listen to this show? I know that Suds listens, but I didn't know whether Rick was allowed to listen.
I think it's the only station his radio actually gets. Hey, Rick, how's it going? Look out for that tree!
Yeah.
He's got to get you out of his system, though. He
What do you mean?
actually said this morning, okay, our poll question for the day is.
Oh, no.
Talking about the OJ. Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
He's doing a poll question?
Yes.
And by the way, I don't want to spend a lot of time ripping Rick and Suds, but I will anyway. It's the first time I've listened in a long time. They played a bit at 8 o'clock. They played that old Sally Struthers bit, which is older than Methuselah. And then they come out of the 9 o'clock news break, and they're playing Beer is Good for You for the 80. That would be like if I played the Bridge Tender every goddamn day. I mean, after all this time, wouldn't you think they had something new and different? Yeah.
Well, you did miss. You were sleeping, I guess, during the OJ. It was like from 6:07 to about.
Next thing they'll be playing my stuff like that. That was good. Or like.
Who the hell are you?
Yeah, more like that.
Hey, I think the reason that Hank's doing more in studio things now.
Yeah.
Like he's getting down to where he can like get through the door and get inside.
Yeah, that might be it.
So he's going inside more.
Okay.
Sure.
Thanks for the good news.
All right.
Whatever you say. Yeah. So anyway, speaking of that. Hank had a good point yesterday about this thing with the Bluff getting the Employee of the Month and these idiotic lines in this thing that Greg Reed writes out in this memo against sometimes insurmountable odds and in the face of severe adversity. That's right. The severe adversity, Hank is absolutely right, is that we did it, not Duff, but we did it. We made the big ratings with no promotion, no publicity, no assistance, no equipment that works most of the time. And speaking of Hank being out on the road doing the show, there's nothing wrong with that except that about 90% of the time, the ISDN breaks down and we can't get him on the air for the first 20 minutes. And the whole show is, am I on the air? Are we on the air? He's not on the air, every day. So, yeah, there's severe adversity, all right, because we work for a bunch of cheap bastards. Not that I care, you understand. I don't want you to get the feel I've lost that loving feeling, because I haven't. I couldn't care less. As long as the checks keep coming, what I've seen in this place, man, I could write volumes about. And it's obvious that not anybody is going to change this. God, Jesus, Moses, Charlton Heston themselves couldn't come in here and change this joint. So why the hell should I waste my time? Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you, sir?
I'm great.
I'm another one of the crossovers.
All right.
And,
this is free now.
I listened to, by the way, you need to thank Ron for going on the air several years ago, because that's one of the reasons why I was able to find you about 5 or 6 years ago.
Neil Rogers.
God. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I do listen to Rick and Suds and listen to you.
Yeah.
I'm really nervous.
Why is that?
And I do remember that.
Am I that
this
intimidating?
is Fat Bitch.
What is it?
I
never finished the story about the fat bitch with the Hershey Kisses. That to me was the worst exploitation, even worse than this OJ stunt they're trying to pull over there, which is going over like a pregnant pole vaulter, by the way.
That was pretty sad. And
it wasn't just sad, but if you could have seen it, and I don't know if you remember, George reminded me this morning, here's this 800-pound elephant, poor lady who's addicted to sugar, who's like killing herself on food, and they bring her in there to see how many Hershey's Kisses she can eat, and I walk in there and I reach out to get one, only one. And she grabbed a hold of my hand with a claw-like fist. And I'm going to tell you, Primo Carnera himself could never have had a stronger grip than this bitch. I mean, she was serious.
That's why
That's my Hershey's Kiss, you bastard!
One really quick thing. By the way, your show yesterday was the best, as they all are. And about the no promotion for your radio station. I think I also work in corporate America, where you would think that if you do things like promote and do things that make sense, that's how your company makes more money.
Mm-hmm.
Although, Neil, I have to tell you, All Spots Radio is really tough to get a hold of you. When I call, every time I call, I'm always up against a break and on the phone for quite some time.
You're the only caller I got right now. You're it. You're a medley of our call.
That's it?
You're the only call I got.
By the way, that bitch that comes on WIOD
Yeah.
with the funny laugh,
Yeah.
I hate her, Neil. I really do.
Yeah.
When she was on the air before,
the one that's got the .000 -3, that one?
Yeah, I used to listen to her a long time ago, but I can't do it. I really can't.
I wouldn't want to rip anybody because it's not my style, but she's a disgusting, talentless bitch. She really is. And have a great day, sir.
Thank you,
and a great holiday to you. Okay, watch out for all the crazy people with the traffic out there, okay? It's obviously a very, there are going to be a lot of people going to die this holiday weekend. I want to sound like one of those corny radio people, all you little kids out there like Don Cherry does. Oh, by the way, the Leafs lost last night. I mentioned that in passing. Lost the game, okay? The people in there, oh, gee, you must be psychotic. Yeah, my life is turning to ashes because the Maple Leafs lost the game last night. It's one game, okay? Had a couple of defensemen who thought Christmas was coming early. They gift-wrapped a couple of goals for the Sabres and said, oh, here you go. Here's the puck. Have a good time with it. And that's the end of that game, okay? One game. These Buffalo people, like Pat Quinn says, what a bunch of sourpusses, huh? And that Hasek, he should get 20 years for overacting for that performance. Every time somebody breathed on him, oh, he's falling. Oh, he's... And finally, even Kerry Fraser with a bad hairdo said, give me a break. Cut the crap, okay? Cut the overacting, man. This team takes more dives than Greg Lousanis, the Sabres team. 10:26 at 560 WQAM. Ever discussed this on the air?
No, they're too young and slow to know that's what's going on.
Oh, man. Yeah, let me help you adjust that. Oh, I'm sorry. 10:31. Well, I didn't even do...
It's Friday, you bastard.
Plus, I wanted to play this one more time just in case they missed the beginning of the show.
Free drugs. Tonight I have free drugs. Tool, hard on, take it. Tool, hard on, take it. Bust. The longest tool, the highest tool, the smallest tool. My fellow Americans, I stand before you tonight. Hard on, growing, hard on, expanding, hard on, rising. I reach out my tool to all of you, a rock solid hard on, free drugs. Tonight I have free drugs. Tool, hard on, take it. Tool, hard on, take it. And ask that we join together in saying to the American people, take it.
10:32 at 560 WQM. I could just play that for the whole 3 hours and be more entertaining than the crap I heard this morning. You know what I'm saying? Like
public service announcement about Sally Struthers.
Like that. Oh, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my ears because they play like very little stuff, and they got a whole DCS full of old stuff, most of which is ours, but nevertheless. I mean, next thing you know, you'll be hearing stuff like on their show, That was devastating. I mean, I'm glad that they're working and that Rick talked his way into a job there at a much reduced salary, but nevertheless, we all got to eat. That's fine. We all got to put those breakfast patties on the table. But that was terminal. It was really bad. And the OJ thing, obviously, nice going, John Ford. Oh! Nobody here cares. Nobody over there cares. They didn't even talk about it. What does that tell you? I'm not so sure whether that's good or bad. But again, that's part of South Florida. It's part of the mentality. There's no outrage. There's no passion,
Maybe nobody watches Channel 4.
And maybe nobody reads the Herald. Although one of our very, very chronic faxed that to me after I had already mentioned it on the air, the thing about the OG on if you got the balls, we got the microphone. Isn't that what he said? Something like that on Super Talk Radio. Why is there so much bad radio in this country and in this market in particular? This is such a bad. Are you positive that this is one of the all-time worst? It's amazing that we do as well as we do because you would have thought by now there would have been a lot of people took their radios and just threw them in a dumpster just out of sheer disgust. I mean, FM radio, we already know, absolutely blows here. The music is the worst. Just go get you one of those CD burners and just have a party to your heart's content, Put all the stuff you like on CD and to the hell with the FM radio. 5670560. I told you it was going to be like this, didn't I? Really slow. I would have thought that just the Rick and Suds crossover, we could have killed at least 2.5 hours with that. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
I took the opportunity to give you a call when you had no calls.
No, you're it.
I got in right on.
You're it, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a holiday weekend. Like I said, anybody with a brain, they're out of here already. They're long gone. They are far away.
shows you I don't have a brain, or else I would be out of here.
Me too.
Hey, listen, I found the worst radio. You're right. Radio here is bad, pretty bad. But Brooke Daniels, I listened to her. I said, let me be objective. Let me listen to her because she talked about how bad she is.
Mm-hmm.
I had to turn it off. Serious, dead air.
See, that's why I've never been afraid to promote people on other stations, because I know that when you tune it in the first time, you're like speak all over yourself, and you say, you're right. I'd never make that mistake again.
I mean, it's good. You're pretty good, but you know, when you listen to Brooke Daniels, you're the greatest.
Right.
I mean,
Actually, I'm not good at all, but the fact is that being on against everything else in this market, it makes me sound spectacular. It's like vanilla ice cream, you know. Compared to eating dog poop, it's really pretty damn good.
Yeah, she was bad. When I felt the blood droplets coming out of my ears, I thought let's change the channel right there quick. And
the best part of it is that they canned her once and they brought her back again. That's the best part of the whole deal.
And you
she
know
was
that
so bad the first time and had no numbers, and they brought her back a second time, and she's already blown away 2/3 of the afternoon audience over there.
I wonder what kind of picture she has. But listen, now let me tell you, as far as the morning show, I don't listen to Rick and Suds at all. Every once in a while I do. And it does bring back memories of you, Rick and Suds.
Well, see, we have a whole lot of people who, you know, have this nostalgic thing going about the old IOD, you know,
it was good.
and they long for the day. It was a lot of fun. We had me and Rick and Suds and Phil, and even when Randy was there at night, there was like a whole family, and people would listen morning, noon, and night. And it's gone, and it's not coming back. It's like people that keep saying, well, when's Phil coming back? He's not coming back here.
Yeah,
He's like a guy who escaped from Rayford. He's not going to come back. These people are crazy.
But you're right. I kid you not. I would tune in from 6 and tune out like around 10 or so at night, and you couldn't turn it off. The stuff was hilarious.
That's right.
And Phil Hendrie, absolute genius.
You know, and even Rick and Suds sounded better on that station than they do now on that stupid talk, because they're like they're floundering. They're like, and I remember Rick, you know, and rightfully so, bellyaching about the fact they got no support in the morning and they had no promotion and no nothing. And actually, management wanted them to fail because they hated them like poison, especially Rick.
Yeah.
But he's what's he getting now? There is no promotion for them. They got Mike Wolf sitting in there reading stupid news stories about Art Bell for 5 minutes. I mean, it's a joke.
Yeah, but hey, I tell you what, if it came to listening to OJ or listening to Brooke Daniels, I'll take OJ in a split second.
All right.
Neil, take it easy, brother.
I say OJ for morning drive after what I heard this morning. Okay, great. Yeah, see ya. I'm serious. That was a bad show. But we all have bad shows. I mean, look at this thing we got going here today, okay? Not too much. I got a great letter to the editor. We're getting more and more spectacular letters. These are good ones. For a while there, I was reading the bad ones, the embarrassing ones, but now we're getting good ones. And I congratulate Lewis Williams in Lauderhill. I'm going to read your letter in a couple of minutes here, Lewis. Nice going, sweetheart. Oh! And I forgot to mark which paper again this is in. God, I can't tell the print. I just can't tell one from the other now. They both are like interchangeable. I guess this is the Sun Sentinel because he's in Lauderhill. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Great.
First-time caller.
All right.
I've been listening to you for a while. You've kind of woke me up to a lot of things. Listen, I might be moving north here around the Jacksonville area. Is there any chance I'll find anything on the AM up there?
No.
I'm dead in the water. Huh?
Although Steve Nickel is putting a new station on the air up there. He called us a couple of months ago, and he said that is what he said.
Yeah. Well, you got a good radio show, man. Like I said, you woke me
just
up
keep in mind, there's always the audio net, always the internet.
Yeah. Well, you know, I can't afford a computer right now, so I don't know what to tell you. All right, man.
Okay, good luck, pal. Lots of luck. You'll need it up there in Duval County. You'll like it up here in Duval County. You'll like those little kids in the trees with the banjos. They're real cute. 567-0560, you know, the ones with the one eye in the middle of their forehead. 567-0560, that's the one, and pound 560 on the mobile one line. Oh, God. Oh, why did I eat? I felt so damn good this morning. I had a nice low blood sugar, and then George is trying to sabotage my life. When George is on from 1 to 2 today, by the way, rip him an ass for ruining my health. No, his intentions were good, because the last time they were here, Dunkin' Donuts, it was like more they hung around toward the middle of the day, you know. It was more like about 11:30, and they made me like a small cheese and bacon and whatever. Yeah, a little thing, you know, it was a nice little snack. But no, that wasn't sufficient. You're just like my mother, you know. Oh, you're so fat, but here, have this and make yourself sick. And I am. I hope you're proud of yourself. I feel real logy is the word. Logy.
You'll feel all right after a big crap.
This has nothing to do with crap, although I wouldn't be surprised any minute. I am having that kind of loose feeling again, as in I love loosely. I am having that distinct feeling. 21 before 11 at 560 WQAM. If Wiener doesn't whistle.
this song and I'm feeling kind of sad. I got my smile from Mom, but my check came from my dad. I've got a body like a driving range mat. When it's cold outside, use my nips to hang your hat. I can blow in your ear, give you a lap dance, but you won't notice me till I get some implants. I need a guy who ain't got issues like feeling up a chest and finding tissues. Guys say I'm cute, they say I'm pretty. I'm not one who needs your pity. I've got a nice ass and fur like a kissy, but I can't get a man 'cause I got no titties. Got no titties. 'Cause Wonder Bra is something I can't afford. When you lay on me, you'll swear you're on a diving board. When I turned 11, I started to get pubes. Now I'm 24 and still waiting on my boobs. Guys say I'm cute, they say I'm pretty. I'm not one who needs your pity. I've got a nice ass and fur like a kissy, but I can't get a man 'cause I've got no titties. Got no titties. I've got no titties. Bitty, bitty. I've got no titties. Bitty, bitty. No titties.
Boy. 10:44 at 560 WQM. So anyway, yesterday somebody faxes me all this stuff about aspartame. It gets to the point where you just want to sew your lips shut, you know, and just not put anything in there again, at least edible. I mean, this is just all about aspartame, the bad news, and it goes on and on and on. And I've heard this before, you know. It says it appears to cause this is NutraSweet, aspartame, all the stuff that we're drinking by the gallon, especially those of us who are drinking like lots and lots and lots and lots of diet soda and thinking we're doing ourselves a big favor by not putting all that dangerous sugar in our systems and setting our blood sugar skyrocketing.
Watch your car, mister?
No, thank you. It appears to cause slow, silent damage in these those unfortunate enough not to have immediate reactions and a reason to avoid it. So in other words, if you're one of those phytokeloaniline, whatever they call that, what is the word for that? Haven't you ever read that on the bottle? If you're a phytoketoaniline alka seltzer something, which means you're immediately allergic to it and you can't drink it.
A phyto what?
Haven't you ever heard that? See, here you go again. He thinks he knows something. A Frito-Edo.
Libido.
Remember Judge Ito? He's on the OJ show. He's going to be his first guest.
Frito Bandito.
Anyway, it says it may take 5 years, 10 years, or 40 years, but aspartame seems to cause some reversible and some irreversible changes in health over long-term use. Methanol, a.k.a. wood alcohol/poison, is 10% of aspartame. Methanol/wood alcohol, a deadly poison, 10% of aspartame. You know, I bought a bottle of Diet Squirt the other day for the first time in years. Do you like Squirt?
Squirt?
Huh? Which reminds me a little bit of Verner's. Well, no, Verner's is a different taste, but it's got that wooden thing in it, you know. And I was looking at the ingredients, and it has like wood something in it.
Wormwood?
No, essence of a worm, a wood, I don't know. Essence of your worm.
Squirt?
Yeah. Oh, that was yesterday. So there you go. One more thing that we just can't be putting in our mouths, and the goddamn aspartame too. Jesus, is there anything left that we can that's safe, that's worthwhile, that tastes good? No. Everything's bad for us. And again, it's because that damn God again keeps screwing around with us. That sadist. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Weston. Hello. Weston. Okay, nice talking to you. 5 minutes and 58 seconds of his important life he invested in that call. And when push came to shove, when the money was on the line, he couldn't handle it. Now we're back down to one call again. Here's a mobile in Pompano. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes, I am.
How you doing?
Okay.
First time caller.
All right.
And I say a very new listener.
A new whistler, yeah.
New listener.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say I've been listening to it. I was an FM listener for a while. I got tired of it one day, and I switched over to AM, and I was flipping through the channels and came across you, and I enjoyed it very much.
Well,
and
thank God.
Just want to say, just keep up the good work, and maybe the next time when I call, I have some good things to talk about.
Excellent. You keep working on it.
So you have a good day.
And back to you.
Yep.
All right. So he had nothing to say, but at least he was a good guy, okay? In fact, he was honest about it. He said maybe someday he'll have something to say, although probably not. Here's that letter that I threatened you with, by the way, from the Sun Sentinel, from Lewis Williams in Lauderhill. Great letter to the editor. And I'm so ecstatic. I'm tickled pink to be seeing more and more letters like this coming from people who have got... See, our audience, they don't have the guts to say these things. And they don't really need to because I'm saying them anyway. It says, God didn't help students at Columbine High. Ray, the massacre at Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado. While two teenagers were making bombs and preparing guns for what they were about to do, where was God? When they began to shoot and kill the helpless students, where was God? I'm told God sees all, knows all, and can do anything. I'm even told he is all good. Then please tell me, where was God? It's about time we gave up this God concept and start caring about our fellow human beings instead. Since God will not help us, we must help ourselves if we want a world our children deserve to grow up in. Lewis Williams in Lauderhill says, What a great letter, huh? What a concept, what an evil concept, the idea that man is actually capable of doing stuff. See, it's always easy to blame it on, the devil done it or, some evil thing. All of these things. And it's the lazy way out to say, well, just pray a lot and maybe God will do something about it. As opposed to like doing something yourself, like a thinking, breathing human being. God forbid we should do that. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T, on the mobile one, whatever line it is this hour. I'll tell you one thing, John Ford, I tried for you. I tried like crazy. Channel 4 tried for you. The Herald tried for you. Went over like a goddamn pregnant pole vaulter. Went over like that goddamn Brooke Daniels show in the afternoon. Went over like Halavat at the North Pole. Nobody cares. And I'm sure that he's just squeezing himself right now. Oh, yeah, Neil's talking about it. Yeah, Neil's talking about it and nobody cares. Our audience doesn't care. Your minuscule audience doesn't care. And nobody in the universe cares. The advertisers might care if you actually went ahead and did it, but everybody knows that even you people aren't stupid enough to put that murder on the air. So a nice try. It's an act of desperation, just like having that big fat tub sitting in there eating those Hershey's Kisses that day. While Rick sat back there getting some sadistic thrill as he sat there and watched her, Rick Kevorkian. That's the new name we should have for Rick Riley. Rick Kevorkian. Dr. Rick. Because that's what it was. It was like an act of murder. And even at the time, I remember saying that was not funny. That was pathetic. Especially if you could see it. Here is a woman that could barely squeeze her big fat ass in that chair, and they've got like 60 million of these little Hershey's Kisses in there, and she's unwrapping them just frantically, just shoveling them down her throat. I thought she was going to start shoving them down there with the silver wrapping on them still, because she couldn't wait. I mean, anybody who says that overeating, that fat isn't an illness, man, those people are crazy. Like most of your doctors out there. That's right. Too bad we didn't have about 62 pounds of Luxemkugel for her that day, although I do like Luxemkugel a lot.
Do they ever put chocolate chips in that?
That's a good idea. I bet you they do put chocolate chips in that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if you could take your Luxemkugel and put a Reese's peanut butter cup in the middle and stick it all back in the oven and melt it in the middle. Or maybe call your people from Dunkin' Donuts back and get one of those great jelly-filled donuts and stick a Reese's peanut butter cup in the middle of that. Or maybe stick 2 or 3 of those Hershey's Kisses in the middle of a jelly donut. That sounds pretty good. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
What's up, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard about those license plates that say
Choose life.
Choose life?
Yes.
Is that scary?
Well, again, this audience doesn't care about it, sir. I brought it up several times, and nobody cares about that on this show, sir. Nobody gives a flying crap that we have a governor who wants to impose right-wing values into the state business on the state license plates. The next one will say, I mentioned this the other day, the next one will say, kill an abortion doctor for Christ. Yeah, that's coming.
Hello?
I'm listening.
Yeah, it's just a scary thought. Like, I don't even understand how the legislators would allow this to pass. I mean, it just seems.
Well, just look at the composition of the legislature in this state. You got a bunch of good right-wing nose pickers up there in Tallahassee.
What about separation of church and state? I mean, does that have?
My friend, you're living in the past.
Well, that's scary. I don't know. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Just remember, choose another state. And good luck to you, sir. 5-6. We're going to do one call at a time today. That's good. We haven't done this in a long time. Hey, I told you it was going to be like this. We've already had more calls in like 50 minutes than they had in the 2 hours I listened. I'm serious. I heard 3 calls in like 2 hours, and the first one was on like 10 times as long as he needed to be, but now I understand why. It's a holiday, man. Anybody who's got a life. First of all, if they had a life on a holiday weekend, they sure aren't going to be calling us. Although, of course, the sports nerds, they have no shortage. They have no shortage. Oh, Don Shula's a wonderful man, and we support whatever he does. And, hey, that very young Florida Gator team went right in there on their turf and kicked their ass. Oh, my God. Is it warm in here again today, or is it me? Is it
yes,
that,
we were discussing that yesterday.
We were discussing it yesterday, the fact that even it's only the end of May, it's not even close to the hellish days of July and August. And even with our air conditioning turned up max, as far as low as it will go, we better call our friends at Air Around the Clock to come in. I'm serious.
We have a building-wide problem, the reason for which being,
yes,
when they remodeled and redone the whole side,
yes,
they went the cheap way.
Oh, what a surprise.
And we
only
have sufficient air conditioning
So like it
system
said in a memo yesterday about Duff Lindsay being the employee of the month, in the face of severe adversity, being Greg Reed and the Beasleys are a bunch of cheap pricks and don't really care about the people that work there and don't care about making a comfortable building or a building that's soundproof or a building that's like a real radio station. See, they can put up all the new erections that they want here, okay? And they can have all the hammers going and put a big act on. The fact is, this is still Neisner's. It's still Woolworth's. It's still Kresge's 5 and dime. But you want to know something?
I don't give a shit anymore.
Right. Although it is uncomfortable. When it starts getting uncomfortable, then I do give it SH.
Don't they have floor-mounted, floor-model air conditioning units that you can, like, roll around?
Yeah, they're called fans. Yeah, and they make a lot of noise. We can use all the fans we can get. This is WFAN, Miami. Hey, that's a sports station. Why can't we just change the name of the call? It WFAN. We'll put Imus on in the morning, OJ in midday, and we'll sit someplace where it's nice and cool, which is not in this building. Yeah, it's stifling in here already, and it's only the 28th of goddamn May, Greg Reed. You cheap prick. You cheap goy. God, is he cheap. You know, you sometimes wonder how people find each other, like him and the Beasleys. I don't really know what the background of that relationship is, but talk about a marriage made in heaven. Talk about water seeking its own level. Here's a mobile in Kendall. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, how you doing? This is first time caller.
All right.
Listen.
Is this number 278 checking in? Yes.
What?
I said, how you doing?
All righty. I'm down here working. Talk about God. There's all these new signs now in Miami, the bus stops, saying, I don't know who's behind it, though. It's probably Mayor Pinellas, saying that if you take God's name in vain, I'll make rush hour longer. I mean, give me a break.
No, that's some asshole with a billboard company that's put those up all over the country. That's
serious. Why doesn't he just pour billions into the highway?
Why doesn't he go out? Why doesn't he go out and feed some homeless people and stop wasting money with all those billboards? That's what I say.
I'm telling you, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know?
See, that's the thing with all these the God Squad. They just can't keep it to themselves. They have to keep trying to impose it on us because they're so much better than the rest of us are, you know.
Yeah, but they terrorize people, and people actually believe in that crap.
Exactly.
You know? And, there's very few of us down here who actually go up to somebody and say, well, look, what we have to do is we have to put money in the highways. We have to, widen the highways. We have to do this. We have to do that.
Yeah.
We can't spend money on this bullshit.
Well, maybe God will do it. Maybe
Yeah,
if we just pray, or instead of drinking all that beer over this holiday weekend, if we just pray a lot, maybe we'll wake up on Tuesday morning and we'll have all those new highways we've been praying for.
Yeah, serious.
Okay.
All right, Neil.
God
Take
bless
care,
you,
man.
sir.
Take care.
Okay, the Lord be with you and keep you. The good Lord willing. 567. Yeah, it's interesting because he used to say that too, Witchner, all the time. The good Lord willing. You know, all that God be. He was the most bigoted person I ever knew in my life. I mean, redneck would have been an understatement in his case, and yet, the good Lord and all that crap, you know. That must have just been a coincidence, you know. 10:56 at 560 WQAM. You want to plunge your...
WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Join the NRA, toot your gun today. Have yourself some down-home Christian fun. Throw your friends away, we'll back you all the way. Defending your right to own a gun. When you think of all the benefits you're getting, life will be sweeter when you pack your heater and carry a license to be deadly. Come on and join today. It's the American way to be a member of the NRA.
Aim for the knee, aim for the chest, and always aim for the head in case they're wearing a vest. Sharpen your skin, feel more fun. We'll be there to defend your right to hold a gun.
Come on and join today, and you'll be proud to say you're a member of the NRA.
11:01 at 560 WQM. We got a short show today. Well, George will be here from 1 to 2. Like I said, I got a short show. And then Monday we got a tape for you from 10 to 2.
Oh!
Hank Goldberg at 2 o'clock this afternoon. 6 o'clock tonight we got the pregame with Donnie B. And then the Marlin game. Marlins and the Reds. Will anybody?
No.
Here's North Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I was at your favorite place yesterday, the Coral Sky Amphitheater,
Oh, yeah.
for the Ozfest and Black Sabbath. I got to say, your friend Woody,
Mm-hmm.
he was sitting in the front row right in front of me. That guy is a loser, man.
Yeah.
The guy was hassling about people taking a little hit off a little joint, you know?
Yeah.
Put it out, he said.
He said that?
Can you believe that?
Woody Graber was telling people that when in doubt, put it out?
Put it out, man.
Oh,
I mean, you're in the front row. The guy tells you to spark it up.
you mean a guy that walks around looking like the post-60s
ponytail,
reject
man.
with his ponytail and his frosted hair
And
and his
he's taking
frosted
the cameras away. He's taking people's film
Well, what
away.
did he have to do with it? Is he sounds like some kind of a monster over there? What is it? Huh?
Mr. Butch, I thought he was, man.
He's bossing people around. The guy that got us
Absolutely,
tickets in the
Neil.
rain and got us pneumonia over there.
Absolutely.
600 yards away from the stage.
There was no rain, but I mean, it was going all around, and here I was in the front row, and he was telling me, put it out.
Yeah.
Unreal, man.
Time to get a haircut.
That's right.
Okay.
Tell him to square up George.
Okay, see ya. Woody Graber, how comes to find out?
He's an asshole.
Yeah, plus I don't want to see 98 degrees anyway. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Can you believe that? Guy like that? Well, you know, everybody in Florida is kind of like that. They're on a power trip, you know, because most of the people who came here feel very impotent, and many of them are. And so as a result, like the old people in the condos, they have to boss people around. That's why we have so many condo commandos. And some younger people want to be like that too, so there are condo commandos in training. CCIT. Or SH, whatever they are. Woody telling some guy to put out a joint. See, that's the difference in America. Like I said, I'm at the train station in Amsterdam, and we're standing there waiting for the train to the airport, and here's a young girl sitting there smoking a number, minding her own business. Nobody's paying any attention. There was no Woody Graber there saying, hey, put that out. Nobody cared. Were people like swooning and falling onto the tracks?
No.
No. Was the world coming to an end?
No.
Were they suffering from reefer effing madness?
No.
I say we ought to have one day. This is a good idea. As a non-pot smoking person, but somebody who's very much in favor of everybody's rights, I think we ought to have one day where all the pot smokers unite and they just go out in the streets and light up and walk around smoking their numbers wherever the hell they feel like it. Doesn't that sound like a good idea?
We'll have a smoke in, but we got to do it somewhere.
Well, we can't do it in here. Oh, and by the way, I checked the thermostat. It said as low as it'll go. It said on 50, and it's 76.8 degrees in here.
And it's not even noon yet.
You know, Nunez? You know, you round that off, you know what you get. There's no numbers on there. Instead of FAN, we should change to 77. Huh? Come on, isn't there one that says WABC? What is wrong with this crap? I pull a card out of here with all these WABC jingles, and there's not one that goes 77.
Music Radio WABC.
Assholes. Jesus, I hate you people. I hope that Babalu dies. Oh, he already did? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like your idea just now you just gave. I don't like George's because if you get them all in one spot smoking, then the cops are going to come bust everything.
You're online.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, you heard about some other radio station offering that murderer a job?
Yeah, I talked about that this morning, sir. You're about an hour late. Nobody seems to care.
You want to
No
know
interest.
something? It's all a sham.
No kidding. That's what I said. It's a desperate publicity
And it's
stunt.
that,
That's
you know,
right.
There's a lady host in the afternoon, and she's crying a bigger foul.
Yeah, and she's going to do her show from the neighbor's house where he was looking to buy a house. I mean, talk about being so desperate, and nobody cares. The radio station, they ran a publicity stunt, and nobody cares. That's
you know
the
what?
best part.
The funny thing is, he posed a monetary question like, quit her job and give up that paycheck. That fat Jew will shut her mouth.
Okay. Did he say fat Jew? Exactly. Well said, sir. Right on. Fat bitch. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T way. And even if she loses weight, it makes no difference. She's still a no-talent airhead. What a match made in heaven. Her and P.D. Tweed. And I know they're all listening right now. Okay, it's not personal. Although in Bolger's case, I'd make an exception to that. In his case, and John Ford, it is personal and business, both. John Ford, little pipsqueak from our morning show at Zeta. All of a sudden he pops up, he surfaces again, rears his ugly head years later at the Paxson IOD, and now all of a sudden he's walking around like his stuff don't stink, like he's too good to talk to us that used to work with him on Zeta. Now, come to find out, of course, he made those comments about how he wished that Alice Rantel would get AIDS and die and stuff like that. Remember during his ill-fated morning show that lasted about 5 weeks on Stupid Talk, John Ford? So maybe he just might suffer from a terminal case of homophobia. Maybe that's his problem, that little pipsqueak. Although if you've ever seen him, pipsqueak would be a compliment. You know who I'm talking about? John Ford?
He has a wife, you know.
Here's Homestead. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, I am.
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
Dude, so you won't let OJ move right next to you?
No.
Why?
Because I don't like murderers living in my neighborhood. That's why. You want him living next to you?
No, but let me ask you something. Would you let Michael Jackson live right next to you?
No, I would not.
Why?
Because he's a pedophile.
Oh, thank you. I would, because a lot of people would say, yeah, I'm going to let Michael Jackson.
Why would I want Michael Jackson? I'd rather have OJ any day than Michael Jackson.
I know, well.
At least OJ's a better dresser anyway. Would I let Michael Jackson? Just like that one woman said, that one dark-complected bitch said, oh, I'd be proud to have my son molested by Michael Jackson for about 3 or 4 million. She left that last part out, see?
Well, that's a given.
Yeah, right. As in he's given and she's taken. I'd be proud to have my son molested by... I mean, what kind of a simpleton, what kind of a multiplying too much bitch would say a thing like that? And then, of course, the tabloids, like I said yesterday, they dutifully report all of his 85 marriages to all of these bull dykes and all of these other bizarre people, some of whom happen to be, by the way, members of the Church of Scientology. I don't want to mention no names. One of the world's... Maybe that's after the Catholic Church. Maybe that's the world's second largest closet, is the Church of Scientology. You think that might be?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But, of course, we don't want to say that because you know them. We don't want to start up with them. We'll leave that to George.
Be talking about that at 1 o'clock.
What a relentless little spick, man. You know, you're right. If you wouldn't have said anything, it would have been uncomfortable. But now that you mentioned it, you know what I mean? Have you ever had that happen to you when somebody says, is it a little bit warm in here? And even though you were feeling a little bit warm, you weren't really that acutely aware of it. But, or like, for example, if somebody cut a real bad, and then somebody says, gee, does something smell bad in here? And then, gee, all of a sudden you really, because you're focusing on it. As opposed to just kind of a subliminal thing, you're really zeroing in on it. And I'm zeroing in on the fact that it's hotter than a witch's rectum in here, man.
And it's twice as hot in here.
Jesus Christ. Is it going to be this way all summer long?
Yes.
Boy. We'll have to have some of our interns come in here and work like almost in the nude, like maybe in their briefs.
They could fan you with those big feathers.
They could wave it. 9 minutes after 10 at 560 WQAM.
If you blow too much, you're in trouble.
My anus, 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 my anus. Hi, kids. Y'all like cutting little stinkers? That funny little sound that comes right out your sphincter? Want to copy me and do exactly like I do? Get paid for writing little songs about boo-boo? My brain's all gone. I'm trying to get my groove on, but I can't figure out which Spice Girl I'm going to fart on. And Dr. Dre asked, yo, man, you pass gas? Hell no. So why do I smell ass? Man, you low class. Well, since age 12, it seemed like I always smelled. I thought ripping gases and tooting was pretty swell. I got pissed off when I took my jeans off and farted so hard it turned my underwear backwards like crisscross. And every night I'm like, oh, dinner last. Then fart out my ass faster than a fat bitch who ate too fast. Smell this, honey. Yo, dude, wait a minute. That's my girl, cuz. I don't give a fuck. God sent me to stink the world up. My anus, my anus, my anus, my anus, my anus, my anus. My English teacher wanted me kicked out back in junior high. Said the problem was something crawled up my ass and died. I shot him in the face with my vapor. The worst happened later when I covered his desk with used toilet paper. Walked in the strip club, my intestines were filled up. Moved the bartender, took a dump in a tip cup. Went over to a dancer, had her fuck in her garter. She lifted her leg up, and I knew she was a farter. 99% of my life I was lied to. I just found out my mom's got more gas than I do. I told her I'd grow up to be a famous rapper, make a record about strange noises made on the crapper. You know you was dirt when the women rushed to leave. You tried to hold it back, but your butt needed relief. This guy at White Castle said it was pretty cool, but I had to go drop the kids off at the pool. My anus, my anus, my
You know, I'm just beginning to realize that black ease is kind of like Yiddish. I see a lot of similarities, you know, as opposed to the way, like, ordinary white folk talk, which is kind of like boring.
It's a merry-go-round of musical fun.
There we go. Thank you.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's 77 here on the inside. You know, it's going to get to the point pretty soon where it's going to be warmer inside the studio than it is outside because we work for a bunch of cheap bastards over there on the West Coast called the Beasley Boys, okay? Cheap, disgusting, idiotic, and we don't care about anything else, but when it comes to our comfort, that we do care. You know what I'm saying?
And then I do not forgive.
Then I do not forgive. That's right. Maybe we need to go see Don Corleone, air conditioning. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Recent crap Chester transplant.
Yeah.
Had some visitors come down. Had to see Dade County. I said, no, you'll love. This is perfect where we are. Look at the frogs. This is perfect. No, we had to go down to Key Biscayne. To my horror.
Key Biscayne. What did you see there?
Oh, they had to see it. They wanted to go to Largo. I said, you'll like this key will do. Take them out to the end of the point.
Why don't you just pull out your keychain and say, take your pick, you know, and get back inside.
I couldn't believe it. I thought half of Dade County was out there waiting for the relatives to float in.
They are.
They stepped in the diapers everywhere.
Yeah.
Filthy. Going back to Canandaigua this weekend. God bless. Go
Okay, have a great time. Okay. There's a guy with no material. Okay, we got one call left on the board. I can see a lot of music in my future, okay? I don't need a palm reader to tell me we're going to be playing a lot of good music today. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Hollywood. Hello. Okay, that was our last call. That's two of those we've had today, and that takes care of business. At 1 hour and 18 minutes, that's not too bad on a holiday weekend. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. All we generally have left in town are a bunch of people feeling sorry for themselves who have to work. Like today, I heard Rick and Suds saying they have to work on Monday, and then some jackass calling in saying he had to work on Monday too. Because some of the malls, I guess, are open, and a few other places. It's really sad. And if I had any brains, which I don't, but if I really had brains, I would have told them, hey, listen, nobody else is working Friday, so I'll see you on Tuesday. I'm not working Friday or Monday. Because based on the response here today, we don't have enough people left in town to be listening anyway, so what difference does it make? Nice timing, too, by the way, on that OJ stunt, on your publicity stunt, John Ford. Nothing like pulling a big publicity stunt at a time when like 98% of the people who speak English are out of town for the weekend. Nice going, John. Oh! On Super Talk Radio. You jackass. It's just amazing, you know. I can't say that many good things about the Cox Broadcasting people, but once Paxson bought that outfit out, there was such a conglomeration of losers, the likes of which you have never seen in your life, like... Push the button, Max! Oh, yeah, like Mad Max, our engineer. We were talking about him this morning. Remember, Max? Oh, I like to schmooze. I like to flirt. I like to eat. I like to flirt. I like to schmooze. I like to eat. I like to eat. I like to flirt. I don't like to work.
Don't forget the bum and free cigars.
And bum and free cigars. And he likes anything free. Yeah. Anything that we had that was laying around that wasn't nailed down. Old Max, he liked that too.
But he's a new man now.
Yeah, I bet you he is. He's born again. What a bunch of losers in that outfit. Push the button, Max! And they did spend a lot of money on real nice state-of-the-art equipment over there. The only problem was we didn't have any engineers who knew how to make it work, including... Roy! Here's a mobile in Aventura. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Let's go to a mobile in Lantana. Hello.
When, if ever, is Bob going to get the words to trucking right?
Bob what?
When is Bob going to get the words to
Bob
trucking
who?
right?
Bob what? What are you talking about?
Bob Weir. I'm talking about Jerry Darkstar.
Yeah. Keep going.
Well, you know, actually, I tried to get into Ozfest last night with big press passes, and that guy Woody really is a jerk. He wouldn't even hear us at all.
Uh-huh. Nice going, Woody. Like I said, thank God for Woody Graber. Oh! Well, he evidently didn't take this guy's drugs away. And you're sitting in there trying to decipher what he says like there's an answer to it? Like there's a riddle and this one's got an answer? Don't you understand basically what he said? Yeah. That's what he said. He just did it in different dialect. That's all. He said, yeah. Thank you, sir, and God bless you for killing 30 seconds on an otherwise terminal memorial holiday, a day when everybody wants to go out and get blind drunk. Drunk and puke and the whole deal, because that's the American effing way. That's what these holidays are all about. Oh, you're so busy with that thing. George has become neurotic.
It's that old man.
Oh, the old man is back again today?
305.
Yeah, what's his number? Wait a minute, slow. Now, which old man is this?
He's a crazy old man who's going to cure you of your homosexuality.
Oh, yeah, he's going to cure my homocysteine problem?
He's going to get the gay out of you.
Yeah.
305-948.
Ain't nothing in me, pal. 948.
7279.
7279. Maybe you can call
every day.
This old man up who evidently is very lonely and looking for a some companionship, like maybe a boyfriend. 305-948-7279. I guess he wants people to call him up and wish him happy holiday. Please, better you than us. And, you know, we just got rid of that other old cretin, okay, that the police had to go knocking on his door and threaten to take away his goddamn colostomy bag. It's amazing how many tragic old farts there are out there. I mean, who have no life. Every single day, this is their life. Without Ralph Edwards even. Here's a mobile in Coral Springs. Hello.
Yes, I've been listening to the show for about a month now.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just trying to figure out why it is that you've got something against Pat Riley and the Miami Heat.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Against the organization.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't make sense to me. Could you explain to me why you blackballed them?
Blackballed him on what? What are you talking about? Do you have any idea? Uh-huh. That's his idea of humor. This is the guy that every time calls in about it. We were doing the thing about the kids getting shot out there in Denver. He calls in about something about the NBA and just keeps battling right along, you know, like he's got blinders on. Now, this guy that just called, this is a classic example with that New York sound of what I was talking about the other day. Go back to New York, by the way, sir. No wonder Rudy Giuliani kicked your ass out. See, when they were talking about him cleaning up the city up there, what they were really talking about was getting Dreck like this out of the city. And I was saying just yesterday, people like that once were young. What could he possibly have been like when he was young? This asshole, this New York piece of sewage. This piece of driftwood that drifted down the coast evidently and wound up here on shore. What could he have been like when he was younger? And I think George had the right answer. He was a geek. Had to be. Well, what else could he have possibly been? If this person ever, unless he was old when he was young. Do you follow what I'm saying? I'm sure you all know people like that who never really were young, only in terms of years. But even when they were young, they were like old. Here's a mobile in Coral Springs. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Good. Listen, yesterday I was interrupted from my listening by an appointment, but I'm not sure. Did you ever come to a conclusion with the juniors, with the Jews?
Oh, it was terminal. I mean, like the Ashkenazis do this, and this one names their kids after dead people. And I was a geek. Yeah.
Here's the way it works. The naming has nothing to do with the English name. First of all, if your uncle was a Bernard and he died, they don't name you with a B. It has to do with the Hebrew name. That's first. And the second thing is it's an old Bubba mindset that is...
I hate to break the news to you. I don't believe that that's done anymore. I mean, maybe the Orthodox do that.
No, pretty much so. I mean, the Hebrew name, because when the baby's born, you go into the temple and you pay them and you name the baby. But the junior has to deal with, it's an old Bubba mindset that if you name someone a junior, you're stepping on the senior's grave.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that.
You know, so that's basically
what a bunch of crap,
I mean,
man.
the whole
What a
thing's
bunch
stupid.
of ridiculous Bubba-mice.
You know, like anybody with
like stepping on that glass, you know, stepping and breaking the glass at the wedding. I mean, when are we going to stop doing these idiotic, symbolic, stupid, idiotic things?
Well, one of my daughters just got married, and I paid her basically not to have a big ceremony. Go to a justice of the peace, get married, move into your house, be happy. Here's the money that we would have spent on the big deal. Go
Save
have a
all the
good
money
time.
to waste on that and buy an extra set of dishes or something.
Go have a good time.
Nothing
It's up to
can
you
replace it,
two. It's up to you two because there is no God.
Right. Except
Have a
of course for...
Yeah, God.
Okay, and thank you so much, and happy Memorial Day. Owner. 5670560. Boy, we got the big Indy 500 weekend coming up. Maybe that's why Joe Costello's nose is so red. Either that or what is that? That looks like a bad thing, and you didn't even notice it before. That's the first thing I noticed.
It is a giant pustule. It's a boil.
Oh, jeez. I don't want to get you nervous, Joe, but when you walked in here before, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to alarm you, but I was thinking,
Oh, my God.
wow, that looks bad. What is it? Is it a zit?
He's going to go squeeze it in your face.
What
Yeah,
about the
it's a zit? It's a big...
Joe Costello has got a big zit on the end of his nose, and if there's anybody in the world who doesn't need any added appendage on his nose, it's Joe. Now, remember when Clinton was on TV that time with all that heavy pancake makeup on and his nose kept getting longer and that Pinocchio thing kept happening? That could be happening with Joe because when he said that he doesn't like feet, I think that was one of the first fibs that he told. And then when he was talking all that crap about shaving his nuts. Didn't I just say buy owner? I think I just kind of like psychologically segued into this. Are you selling your home or looking to buy one?
Friday, you bastard.
Hi, Bobby. It's your mother. It's Saturday night. I hope you're not at the library like usual. I hope maybe you made some new friends and are out for a change. Call me later and come home again soon. Your underwear is all clean.
Embarrassing messages. You wouldn't get them if you were cool, but you're not. So check out Cool Calls. Subscribe to Cool Calls. Turn up the volume on your answering machine and make sure that people are nearby.
Hey, Bobby, it's me, Missy. Just wanted to thank you for last night. You were amazing. Also, Gina, Julie, Becky, and Kim want to say thanks, too. And we hope to see you again soon. Bye.
Whoa, Bobby, what was that all about, man?
Hey, Bobby, it's Snake from the club. Just wanted to call to apologize again for our bouncers messing around with your girls last night. I also wanted to let you know they're in the hospital, but they'll be okay. Again, just wanted to apologize. Take it easy, man. I hope to see you back here soon.
Bobby, I want to hang out with you, man.
Cool Calls. If you can't lead the life, maybe you can fake it. Call us, and we'll call you. Cool Calls.
So it's 11:31 at 560 WQAM. The employee of the month was just in here, by the way. I said, the air conditioning's really screwed up and it's getting really hot in here. And he said, yeah. He said, maybe it's a distribution problem. He said, there's too much blowing on the other side of the building. And I said, yeah, we already know that, and we know who the parties are, too, but that's beside the point. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I could tell you about Greg Reed coming in here this morning, but then again. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. He'd be too embarrassed. Pembroke Pines, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Hey, listen, I do listen to your show all the time. I'd like to address a few of the things that you've talked about.
Really?
Yes. Okay, first of all, George wants one of those little floor air conditioners. I purchased one, a DeLonghi. They blow a little bit of cool air out the front, and they blow hot air out the rear, you know?
Hot air out the rear?
Well,
yeah.
Out the back. So they kind of neutralize each other. They are very loud.
Oh, good. That would be good. That would distract the audience from these calls. That would be excellent. Yeah. Yeah. We just want to condition them now.
I remember years ago you telling me this, or not telling me and everybody else, an incident about him coming into work with a 45 or something like that.
Oh, by the way, John Penis from the sales department just brought us in a bunch of great cigars from Nick's and some matches, too. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Light one up. Yeah, Wichner came in with a loaded gun or something like that.
He
one
did
time?
that not one time, every night.
No way.
Every night. He had a .357 Magnum. He would put the briefcase down on the counter. He'd come in about 11:45, and he'd put the briefcase down, and he would open it up, and he'd pull out. The first thing he would do every single night, like a ritual, would be pull out that .357 and lay it on the counter. Yeah. And the story is that I had a rabbi as a guest on that night, and he came in and he pulled a gun out, and this is a true story, and the rabbi put his hands up in the air like it was a stick-up. It's a true story. He went, "Oi!"
That's funny. And, about abortion, these conservatives have it all wrong. I mean,
and then Jerry said, well, that guy with a beanie on, is he Jewish? And I said, yeah. And Jerry said, anyway, go ahead.
Whatever happened to him? Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. I think he's his hair, he flipped his wig.
Oh, dear.
Somebody stole that hairpiece.
Now, I think the conservatives, like Jeb Bush and all that, they have it wrong. They should legalize abortion and ban guns, instead of the other way around.
Yeah, legalize pot and ban right-wingers, yeah.
That or give every fetus a gun so they could shoot the abortion
shoot their way out, yeah.
Exactly. And the other thing is this, I know the other day you were talking about how corporations, they know they're going to, get bought out and they don't give a crap about the employees. Well, here's the story on that. They're not supposed to say anything because that would affect the value of the sale.
Yeah.
So if they were to be like kind-hearted souls,
like at Cox Broadcasting, if they would have done that, then of course I would have started looking for a job, and that would have jeopardized the whole sale of the thing. They don't, but that's the point, though. Is the reason I say that they don't care about people. All they care about is themselves, and anybody who pretends to be your friend, all that they care about themselves.
Neil, you finally
got it. They just want to cover their ass, right, Cheryl and Bob? Right.
Now you understand it.
I have understood it for a long time.
The American way.
Right. Have a great day, sir.
Bye.
Happy whatever it is. Happy drinking day. 567. Boy, it's sticky and uncomfortable in here now. The humidity is high. The heat is, and then maybe that's why it extra added, compounded the nauseated feeling I had from eating that stuff from Dunkin' Donuts this morning. Huh? I know they were trying to do something nice for me, and see, I turn around and I'm a prick now. See, I'm just telling it like it is. Didn't I say the other day how delicious that thing was that they made, and I appreciate it, and I thank the guy in here. He was trying to do something nice, and instead he made me very, very logy. Not sick, but logy. You know what logy is. Where you feel like you have no energy, and then it starts getting real warm, and you want to just like hibernate in the corner like Smokey the Bear. That's how I feel right now. And if you open up the window, we can get the smoke in here to go with the smoky part, too. I say about a 6-month fast sounds good to me for maybe some of you guys. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Let us know how you made out. Here's a mobile in Coral Springs. Hello.
Good morning, Dale.
Yes, sir.
You just brought up a medical term which I wish you would explain because the doctor told me my homocysteine level was high.
Uh-oh.
Is that your blood sugar?
That means you're in the closet. No, homocysteine is, which I didn't know about till I got that book, which I don't have in front of me right now, but that's a very important thing because it causes hardening of the arteries, which leads to stroke and heart attack. It has to do with the homocysteine it's a stuff that, it's like a cholesterol. It's made naturally in the body, but if your level goes too high, it can be very dangerous, and you need to take a lot of folic acid. You take folic acid?
Yeah, he told me folic acid and go on a low-fat diet.
Well, the low fat, I don't know. If you take a lot of...
cholesterol was 165.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah,
but cholesterol alone, homocysteine is...
I do eat a lot of sweets and stuff.
Oh, yeah? Well, stop eating that crap. Stop eating that drug. But take the folic acid. How much are you taking?
Well, I'm not yet.
What do you mean you're not yet?
I just went yesterday.
Well, I went yesterday, too, and I went again this morning. I feel like I might have to go again any minute.
You don't know the name of that book, do you?
What's the name of that book, George? The one with the homocysteine guy. You got it written down.
The heart guy?
The heart guy. What is the name of it? George has got it. One moment, please.
Okay.
It's called
The Heart Solution by Kilmer McCulley.
Dr. Kilmer McCulley, The Heart Solution. It's a hardback. It's very, very good. Excellent.
I appreciate it.
Okay, do you have any idea how high your homocysteine level was? What the number was?
No, I don't.
Well, why not? Yeah, listen, you people have got to start being a little more bossy with your doctors. He's not doing for free for you, is he? Don't you pay him?
Of course, my insurance company.
Your insurance pays him, so you have a right to know. Find out what the numbers are and start getting a little more involved in your own life.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. See, I hate doctors, man, other than Dr. Mark, who's a good guy, but we don't hear from him, and that's just as well. That's good. He hears that I'm still alive, and he's grateful. But I'm telling you, man, doctors, you guys are a bunch of butchers. You don't share any information. You don't educate the public. And this fat thing, it's an illness. This is forget about cancer, forget about AIDS, forget about tuberculosis, forget about beriberi and leprosy and scurvy and green apple quickstep. The number one illness in America is fat. And you doctors out there, you don't know your ass from fat, which is why these grave robbers were able to put the low-fat scam over on the public. And now, 5 or 6 years later, now they're coming out and saying, oh, well, guess what? It doesn't work. We were wrong. When guys like Atkins and Stillman and other guys were saying 25 years ago that dietary fat hasn't got a goddamn thing to do with making you fat. But the doctors out there, do they know anything about nutrition?
No.
Do they know anything about any of this? That would be like, I've said this a million times before, like a guy who, a mechanic who works on your car, not knowing anything about the goddamn carburetor and the fuel you're supposed to put in there. That would be like putting Chardonnay in your gas tank. Like putting Culligan water in the gas tank. And as much as we love our Culligan water, I mean, I'm not thinking I'm going to put that in the gas tank. No tanks. But when it comes to putting stuff in your body, which, oh, geez. You doctors, you're responsible. Nobody else. Don't blame anybody else. Don't blame the food manufacturers. They're just trying to make a dishonest living like everybody else. And the more they appeal to our taste buds and the better it tastes, the more we're going to want it and more we're going to spend buying their crap because they're trying to make a living. They're not out there to be altruistic, whatever they are. They're just business people. You're the ones that are supposed to be concerned about our goddamn health. For example, they have a PSA they're running or some series they're running on CBC in Canada about prescription drug advertising. Are you aware that up there it's illegal in Canada to have ads for prescription drugs and that they have some drug companies trying to circumvent that? But nevertheless, that's the big controversy because it's illegal to advertise prescription drugs. Whereas here, you pick up Time, you pick up Newsweek, newspapers, magazines, all over. Because what's important is not that the drugs are good for you, that they really are safe and effective, that Pfizer makes a lot of money, and all these other goddamn grave robbers. Because in America, everything comes down to money. Even your health isn't important as long as somebody can make a big buck off it. And especially those grave robbing doctors. You're a bunch of butchers, doctors. That's what you are. Butchers with a capital B. 21 before noon at 560 WQAM.
So get away from the ball, motherfucker.
I seen a man at the porno shop putting in his change. Behind a glass booth appears some drugged out hoe with mange. He tells the girl to take off her clothes with shame in his eyes. There's no romance, just another fat, ugly guy. God forbid you have to walk a mile in his shoes. That, my friends, is what we call the horny man blues. Then you really might know what it's like. Yeah. Then you really might know what it's like.
Yes.
Then you really might know what it's like. Then you really might know what it's like.
11:45 at 560 WQAM. I'm trying to think, even though I have a very short memory. Have we ever had anybody that caused us, in any of the places that we worked, caused as many problems as Todd Dreck in such a short period of time? See, I guess in lieu of going out and selling like new accounts or anything like that, just sticking around and stirring up the same pot and continuing to cause more problems. Taking away other people's accounts, things like that, Stirring the pot, stirring it. If you smoke it, that's fine, but don't stir it. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Have we seen him up here, by the way, to service those accounts?
No.
Get us that copy?
No.
Oh, just checking. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
I just want to call. Yes, I read in I'm kind of nervous.
You read in
the paper about the Jeb Bush was talking about. They were talking about imaging the lawsuit about the money paid to like say a plane or something crashes something. If it's more than 12 years.
Liability, yeah.
I can't believe that. I mean, what a.
Well, that's his friends in big business. He didn't want to make them liable for all the crap that they're doing.
What about the crap? And so I just got a thing in the mail about the Armatron ratings and everything. So I'm going to put you on the.
Outstanding. We love you, sir.
Okay. Well, again, you hope you have a safe trip wherever you're going. Are you leaving town?
I'm getting very far out of here. I'm going to the North Pole. I'm going to do some exploring.
Okay.
Have a great weekend.
Okay, you too, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We got a couple of lonely calls on there. Couple of little lonely calls here and there. It's kind of a scattering, smattering. Those of us left in town, everybody's bailed out. You could see that coming to work this morning. Very, very light traffic, although we did have a lot of accidents. See, there's one thing about this town. It doesn't take a whole lot of people to be out there to create real chaos. That's good. It makes up for those days when it's bumper to bumper. You could have could be like Christmas Day, like nobody's on the highway, and still have massive wrecks all over town because it takes only a select few. It's not a question of quantity. It's you know what I'm saying. It's a question of which assholes are the ones out there behind the wheel. By the way, hi to my good new friend at Publix. She last night I went over to get some dog food. After the hockey game, I was depressed, so I went and got dog food. And the young lady at the Express lane, she said, the young blonde lady, very attractive, she said, I always wanted to say this to you, but I was always too nervous. You're really very funny on the radio. Wasn't that nice? And I said, thank you so much. They love me at the Sawgrass Publix. I'm legendary. I'm bigger than goddamn Muhammad Ali, bigger than Hiram Walker and Johnny Walker. I'm telling you. Here's a mobile in South Miami. Hello.
Not mobile, but
here's a stationary in South Miami.
In my backyard.
Okay.
I don't mean to get tangential there. What you were saying about traffic, that's a whole other call for me. But I think I'm going to get back to the Jebster. I just got back from California. I moved back after the election, so I don't know what the hell happened, but he obviously won. I guess Buddy McKay was watching paint dry, and there.
No, he was paint drying.
And
yes.
so there's no way that
when you run a dead man, it was like running Bob Dole for the Republicans.
Okay, all right. So I figured that. I mean, the He Coon was cool, and at least I felt comfortable. I'm scared as hell. We're 6 months into this guy's administration. A lot of people don't remember this. I was here in January, so I do remember one of the first legislative acts that he did. And I don't know where this is in the pipeline, was to attach his name to some bill sponsored by those twisted Republican pro-life twits. in like West Florida, like Tampa, Orlando, saying if you want to get a divorce, there's going to be mandatory counseling. You have to go and get counseling before you want to get away from the person you want to get away from.
From the Pope, yeah.
I mean, so it's
Even
like
if you're
another
Jewish.
way to like maybe inject the religion into what is basically
Sir,
people.
I think you're complicating matters. Just make it simple. Choose life.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this guy will put his name behind anything that says anti-abortion.
Choose life.
Anything that is put in front of him that says that he's going to sign. Now, marriage is a legal contract. It's not a religion.
What are you getting all bent? It sounds like you're getting very hyper to me. I'm very mellow here this morning.
I'm sorry, man. Well, I
very mellow. I have a nice Perdomo X in my mouth. I didn't light it up because it's a non-smoking building, and I wouldn't want them to get all bent out of shape. And especially, it's so goddamn hot in here that the smoke from the vents would make me even nauseous because there's no circulation in here. It's steaming in here. It's just boiling.
Well, okay, I'll let you go then. But like I said, I'm scared. We're 6 months into this guy.
What do you mean you're scared? What does that mean?
It looks like we're going back to like the dark days of
the day that we elected Jeb Bush, we went back to the dark days. We turned the clock back 300 years. So is that a bulletin? That's just the way it is.
It's not
That's
a bulletin.
the Florida effing way, man.
Just keep your eye on the guy.
And that'll teach you to move to Florida again. Good luck, pal.
I'll go back. Bye.
Okay. He's going back to somewhere, anywhere. Okay, we have 600 open lines. We're never going to make it till 1. Of course, George is on his own between 1 and 2. He's going to be attacking the Scientologists again or some outrageous, unacceptable thing like that.
We'll be sacrificing a chicken to Xenu.
Good.
The Dark Overlord.
Oh, and something else? I'm getting because I'm hunched over because it's so goddamn hot in here. I don't have the energy to sit up straight like a man, I need to have Marlon Brando come in and slap me around a little bit so I'd sit up straight and be like a man like Al Martino. It's just schwitzing in here. It's just unacceptable. The Greg Reed effing way, man. Just you're brutal. You're just absolutely brutal. That's going to be our poll question on Tuesday. Who's the bigger asshole, Greg Reed or Todd Dreck? 5670560. Seriously, that's a tough contest. I want you to think about that over the weekend.
Well, at least Greg is nice in person.
Greg?
Greg. Good.
Here it is. Here's a mobile in Kendall. Hello.
Good day, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have 3 things for you, if I could. First of all, you were talking about OJ Simpson the other day. What should they do if they hire him there? Or how about if he could do the Dolphins pregame, all 7 days of it? Because that's basically what they go through. All week long, pregame, postgame, post-pregame.
Okay. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Great.
I just want to tell you, we were talking about
It's
traffic.
going great till that last caller, till that last putz. Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're talking about traffic. I saw the most ridiculous accident. These 2 ladies, they're about 90 years old. One of them takes a light in Hollandale on Dixie Highway, smashes into the other lady, does a 360, keeps her foot smashed on the pedal, and smashes right into the other post. Mind you, I get out the car and I go over there to see how she's doing. She doesn't even know where she's standing.
Mm-hmm.
And she had just caused the biggest accident there.
Well, maybe her bag ran over. That might have been it. That overflow. Maybe she forgot to press the overflow valve before she hopped in the vehicle. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. That's what happens when you have dead people driving. I hate to break the news to you, boys and girls, but when you have people over the age of 200 driving, getting automatic license renewals in the mail, which I keep screaming about and nobody cares. See, up in Tallahassee, they're worried about, pumping out license plates that say choose life and shoot an abortion doctor for Christ and things like that. But when it comes to important stuff like getting the dangerous people off the road, the people over the age of 300, the illegal aliens driving their little old brown Toyotas with no brakes and no headlights and no brake lights and bald tires, and stuff like that, all these things. Do they care about that?
No.
No. Not to mention, of course, the 60% of the people in Dade County driving around with no insurance, so that if they hit you, SOL. Here's a mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, Neil, I got an OJ report.
Yeah.
He's looking to buy a house in Plantation Acres.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. No, seriously. Did you see some of the budget cuts that Jeb Bush proposed?
And?
Well, one of them was...
Let me ask you something. Why is everybody talking about this now? It's a little bit late, isn't it? The horse is already halfway to goddamn Jacksonville. He's out of the barn.
I'm happy about it. He cut $300,000 from park improvements to Coral Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Like Coral Springs needs $300,000.
Well, where are those gangs going to hang out if they don't have some nice parks, man? You better get with it. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I don't want to talk about Jeb Bush. It's Memorial Day holiday. All these people want to get me depressed. I'm not interested in Jeb Bush, okay? You got him. You wanted him, you got him. I warned you. I told you. I could smell him a million miles away. A fascist by any other name would smell the same. In fact, I wish it would have been any other name, because if his name wouldn't have been Booch, then he wouldn't have got elected in the first place. But you're dealing with such stupid people in this state. Not just in this state. I guess it's anywhere in the U.S. of A. Because the people are too busy watching Inside Edition and E.T. and crap like that. And standing online to get in to see Star Wars. They're too busy with the important stuff like that. So that it's just name recognition. If it's an incumbent, 98% of the time they win, only because somebody, oh yeah, that's right, I remember John LaMello. I remember Raul Martinez. Of course, in Hialeah, everybody on a ballot, their name is Martinez, so it's kind of tough to tell. Here's a mobile. How's Humberto doing, by the way? Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Been listening to your show about 3 months now.
How's his wife doing?
Yes.
And have not been able to figure out who Roy is. Could you explain that?
Roy!
And, it's interesting because when we worked at IOD for the Paxson people, they had a chief engineer whose name was
Roy!
And so that originally was done for his sake, because he was a real asshole, and you couldn't talk to him and tell him anything, so we always used to say that. Then we came over here, and of course one of our, I hate to call him a sales hole, because he's just a face man. He's not really a sales guy. He never sold an account in his life. But when they need an ex-jock to go out and close an account with some client out there that's impressed by ex-football players and guys that used to wear a jockstrap, it's
Roy!
that they take along with him. And it's come to find out that he's real good buddies with OJ, and recently has been trying to talk to management here into hiring OJ, and the management said no. And that's why INZ started that big phony baloney deal this morning, and it didn't do anything for him.
Thanks for the info, Neil.
Okay. The worst publicity stunt in the history, and what would you expect from the worst radio company in the history of the business?
I thought they didn't care about ratings.
Well, that's good, because they're never going to have any. That's a damn good thing. No, in fact, that's Pete Bolger's slogan over there. We don't care about ratings. We're just concerned about ruining people's lives. Nice job, Pete.
Oh!
Great job. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. I got now.
WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Yo, I'm a nigger, you're a nigger, he's a nigger, she's a nigger, we're all nigger boos.
Oh!
I'm a nigger, you're a nigger, he's a nigger, she's a nigger, we're all nigger boos.
Yeah.
That's a word for greeting friends like all black people do. But whiteys want to say it too so they can sound real cool. I'm a nigger, you're a nigger, he's a nigger, she's a nigger, we're all nigger boos. Now the bigots have to find another word to use. It used to be real bad, but now it seems okay when African Americans address themselves that way. I'm a nigger, you're a nigger, he's a nigger, she's a nigger, we're all nigger boos. No longer the vernacular for racial abuse. It used to be taboo, a nasty thing to say, but now it's bandied all about by black folks every day.
Yo.
I'm a nigger, you're a nigger, he's a nigger, she's a nigger, we're all nigger boos.
Oh!
I'm a nigger, you're a nigger, he's a nigger, she's a nigger, we're all nigger boos.
Oh!
Six and Watts and mix and kikes, you're all included too.
Yes.
It really doesn't matter now, cause everyone is now a
Yo. Check it out. I be Grandmaster Spook. I be swishing my thing, playing with my record. I be switching it. I got rhythm. Start dancing, bitch. Put the lotion in the basket.
1202 at 560, WQAM.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Neil.
Speaking.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I got a cure for your homosexuality, man.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Isn't that interesting when I pick him up cold, how it always turns out to be a whole different program? 5670560, pound 560. So anyway, the story behind the story, God
damn it.
Yeah. About that horrible attempt, that weak, feeble attempt at a publicity stunt by John Ford and the people over at Stupid Talk with that OJ crap. Coming to find out that Rick and Suds, we find this out from the inside, someone close to the situation. Rick and Suds weren't even told about this pathetic, embarrassing, humiliating, degrading, unacceptable publicity stunt. They walk in this morning, and of course it's been in the newspaper and on TV, and they're like, they're going like, God
damn it.
Yeah.
Well, they go to bed early, you know.
Yeah, what are they going to say?
Yeah.
And of course it was on a 7:30 news, but they're on the air already by that time. And if they would have known about it, the rumor has it that they would have called in sick and not shown up because they're humiliated and degraded. And there is nobody with any self-respect that's going to stay working on a radio station if they bring that murdering son of a bitch in. I'm telling you that. I told you that 2 days ago, and I'm telling you that again today. I mean, we all got to eat, but there's at some point you have to have a little bit of self-respect. You know what I'm saying?
Roy!
Maybe Roy can elope with Todd Dreck. That would be a marriage made in heaven, huh? Oh, God, I got my fingers and legs crossed. I'm crossing my eyes, my legs, everything. Todd Dreck is the Antichrist. Make no mistake about that. I want to apologize personally to Jeff High, Gary Sarner. Any other names come to mind that I've really trashed? Not that they're such wonderful guys, but
limited to the salespeople?
Huh? Yeah, everything is relative. Bob Eisenberg. Anybody else? Because they're great. They're wonderful people. All relatively compared to Todd Dreck, the Antichrist. And, you know, I keep mentioning that one account that we've got a real problem with the copy, where they love me and I love them, but we seem to have all kinds of problems popping up because somebody injected himself in it and stole the account from Peter Leonard, which I apologize to Peter Leonard, too, by the way. I especially apologize to him because he's the one that got screwed on this deal. And you know why this stuff all goes on? Because we don't have anybody running the ship. We got 85 sales managers. We got Ray Perry, who's more impotent than Bob Dole. He needs a bottle of sales manager Viagra or something to butch him up. We don't see him he's cowering in a broom closet somewhere. We got the other one back there. Of course, we know what she's busy doing.
Roy!
Yeah. And so everybody's like, they're all like I've told you, this is the truth. Everybody's got their own little empire going here, and nobody is running the ship. And so that's why this Todd Dreck is like a whirling dervish. And like I said, is he servicing this account?
No.
Do we have copy that makes any sense?
No.
Are we getting a resolution?
No.
All we're getting is this guy running around like he was a few weeks ago, making problems. Like when he was running around the hallway up here and yelling Neil Rogers is an asshole. And everybody said, okay, we know that, so what's the bulletin, okay? What's the big deal? You're the asshole, Todd. You're the Antichrist. You're the chigger in the woodpile. You're the impediment to our lives, just at the point when we finally said, screw it, we don't care, but in your case, we make an exception.
Oh!
That's right. Here's a mobile in Pompano. Hello. Mobile in Pompano.
Hi, how
Yes,
are you?
sir, great.
Hi, did you watch the game last night?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, where did Pat Quinn get that shirt from?
We did what?
Where did Pat Quinn get that shirt from?
The Eaton Center.
I know. I called Saul Corman today. He never saw one like that before, and he swears Pat buys all his clothes there.
Well, what do you care about what kind of shirt he was wearing last night? I mean, what does that got to do with the price of
Nothing.
peanuts,
It's just-
with the goals that Sylvain Cote and Alexander Karpatz have handed over to the Sabres?
Ooh.
Otherwise, it might have been a much different game.
No, that's true.
What kind of a pass was that Sylvain Kotex was making in front of his own net? What was that?
Well,
And by the way, somebody better tell John Shannon, the CBC, for the second time in 2 games in a row, they're doing some stupid interview with Martin Beer on there,
Right.
while they're scoring a goal, and Bob Cole is sitting there like that. He can't say anything because they're doing a stupid interview while the game is going on. Nice going, John Shannon. I hope the CBC fires your ass. But anyway.
Anyway, no, you're right about that. The Leafs handed the Sabres that game, and the first goal that Hasek let in was a pure American leaguer. I mean, that was the ESPN thing was constantly talking about him, and Darren Pang had his eyes focused on him all night, and he didn't talk about the whole rest of the game. So.
Yeah. Well, the CBC, they just got to see it, but Bob Cole couldn't call the goal because they were busy doing an interview while the game was going on.
That's normal. That's the new producers. You need to get Dave Hodge back.
There you go. Bring Jack Dennett back. Dig his ass up.
What's that?
I said, get Jack Dennett back. Dig him up.
Dennett, there you go.
And Ward Cornell.
Do you think?
Right,
Toronto's got it to
we got the
pull it
secret
out?
weapon. We're bringing Bill and Foster back for Game 4, whatever
all
it
right.
is.
Yeah,
Okay.
do it by
Okay, pal.
by a seance. Okay, talk to you
Okay,
later.
have a great life. Okay. That's right. Little do they know, okay, the Sabres, when they expected to leave for Game 4 on Saturday night, we're bringing Bill Hewitt back.
On the face-off, Lanny McDonald.
That's right. We're digging his ass up. We're even bringing Harold Ballard back for bad luck. Don't start talking hockey down here. They resent it. They don't understand it. They don't know from it. They don't know anything, and they think they know something about football, which they don't. And then we got that one guy that got that Pat Riley blow-up doll that he's humping right now. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Well, he likes that slick back look, you know. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Uncle Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Good. Listen, I got a couple of things for you. Number one, I agree with you greatly on the don't start complaining about Jeb Bush now.
Oh, I don't want to hear about it. I mean, what? This is so ridiculous. I warned these people. I screamed. I hollered. We played songs. Did everything I could. And now that he's in there, it's like, oh, gee, you see what's going on? Yeah, I know what's going on.
I agree.
I got my new passport. I got a brand fresh new one with lots of pages on it.
I agree because none of your Cuban Americans or your Black Americans are calling to defend
Yeah, right.
That's number one. Number two.
How many Black Americans voted for Jeb Bush, by the way?
Oh, well, a bunch
there was
of them.
A couple of those turncoats up there in Tallahassee.
A bunch of them followed Willie Logan into in there. The other thing that you were talking about earlier is where was God when that poor little 12-year-old kid was getting killed on Sheridan Street yesterday?
Where was God when Ted Bundy killed that little girl up there in wherever it was, Lakeland or somewhere?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend, Neil.
And back to you. By the way, what time is the Ted Bundy show coming on, Stupid Talk? Yeah, you guys, I'm telling you, you really do it. You just keep embarrassing yourselves worse and worse and worse. It's not bad enough that the numbers keep coming out, which is enough embarrassment since you don't have any. And it's always easy to say, well, Clear Channel Broadcasting, we have all these zillion stations, and we bought out J-Corps, and we want to, something. The audience doesn't care about that. Nobody cares about that. We're not impressed. Just like that crap that Paxson was running. American Stock Exchange listed company. Of course, they neglected to mention the stock was dropping like a rock, and it still is. They neglected to mention that and losing their ass with Paxnet. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. This is quite a revelation to me. And all of a sudden, they discovered that Jeb Bush is governor, and oh, our God. What is with you people? Talk about a little bit slow, huh? 9 minutes past noon at 560 WQAM.
This is the most disgusting program. I urge everyone to complain to this station.
Free drugs. Tonight I have free drugs. Tool, hard on, take it. Tool, hard on, take it. Bust. The longest tool, the highest tool, the smallest tool. My fellow Americans, I stand before you tonight. Hard on, growing, hard on, expanding, hard on, rising. I reach out my tool to all of you, a rock solid hard on, free drugs. Tonight I have free drugs. Tool, hard on, take it. Tool, hard on, take it. And ask that we join together in saying to the American people, take it.
I think after hearing that, a lot of people are saying third term sounds okay.
Yeah, man.
12:15 at 560 WQAM.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm a messenger from God.
Yeah. And?
I'd like to talk to Neil.
Messenger from,
Neil, God!
Yeah, and what's the message?
The message is that simply this.
How about speaking into that thing that's got the holes in it so I can hear you, sir?
Okay. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay. The message.
Because, if you got a message from God, it's very important that we hear it.
That's right. Here's the message.
Yes.
That God does exist. God is real.
Uh-huh.
And that
God is in Israel?
God is everywhere.
Yeah.
And that if we open our minds and hearts, we can understand and have a relationship with Him.
A relationship,
right.
Listen,
but listen.
Do you have his number?
Absence of having a relationship with Him, then you will always question His existence.
Yeah.
And because you do not have...
Well, how come you have time to talk to me when you should be talking to Him?
Well, because He wants me to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
I spend my time talking with Him.
Mm-hmm. And what does He tell you?
What does He tell me?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a thing that what He tells me is...
What does He tell you?
He reveals to my heart and to my mind a guidance and direction in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings about a peace and an understanding that you seem to be very about of all the things that's happening in the world. You don't have any answers to them. And because I have answers to them, it doesn't mean...
Okay, what are the answers, sir? What are the answers to all the violence, for example?
The violence?
Yeah.
These
what are the answers to the war in Kosovo and the Chinese stealing all our nuclear secrets?
I will tell you that.
What are the answers to all the Farbis and the Goyim trying to impose their stupidity on the rest of us?
God. And as long as people are disobedient to the Word of God, these kinds of things
God
will happen.
that told the Israelites to kill their enemies, to go out and slay them?
Listen,
is that the God you be talking about, sir?
Listen, man.
Sir, I'm asking you a question now. Is that the same God?
Listen, God...
Are you going to... Don't tell me, listen. Answer the question, Dumbo. Is it the same God that told the Israelites to go out there and slay their enemies?
If God tells...
Sir, are you going to answer the question or not?
Well, are you going to listen?
I'm waiting for the answer.
Okay. Now, when did
First of all, tell me in what passage of the Bible did God?
Oh, get out of here! And I don't even waste the time with it. This guy's a faker. Well, where in the Bible did he say that? Go read the Bible instead of making stupid phone calls to talk shows, and then you might find out what it's all about. And then you also will say, "What a pile of crap that is."
Numbers chapter 22.
Yeah, go get somebody with the numbers, okay?
Damn it!
7, 11. Those are the only numbers you need to think about. And 7 people won the lottery last week anyway, so forget about the numbers. It's a small jackpot this week. 5670560. I mean, all these people with their glittering. What are you going to get a brain? What's in your brain, pal? What's in your brain? I'll tell you, a big fat nothing. Just a bunch of glittering generalities. And then when somebody gets even minimally specific with you, it's like that, you know.
Yeah.
Where does it say that? God. Man, oh man, I'm going to light up this goddamn stogie now. I don't care whether they like it or not. I'm going to shove it right up Todd Dreck's rectum. 5670560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. How do you like that? Another one of these guys just talking babbling crap. Every one of these so-called religionists, if you spend more time putting something into your brain besides just babbling a bunch of foolish crap that somebody else told you. That was, what I said yesterday, and it's a miracle I did it on a day like yesterday because I was somewhat distracted, but nevertheless. No, seriously, that was the most profound thing I've ever said. And that is what is in the brain of most people, especially in America, compared to most places I've been. What's in the minds of most people is crap that somebody else put there, not anything that people themselves deduced or conclusions they came to or things that they've really thought about. No, somebody else said, fill in the blank. That's right. So therefore you're thinking, right. Just stop and think about that for a while, okay? Just examine
all of these things
that are cluttering up your feeble little gray matter, okay? And I think you'll eventually come to the same conclusion like I said. It's not something that you decided or that you understood. It's some crap that somebody else stuck in there and brainwashed you with. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just to change the subject a little bit, next time you go to Amsterdam, I was there a couple of years ago. We stayed in a houseboat right on the river. I'm not sure where you stay there.
On the canal, you mean?
Yeah, on the canal, exactly. And it was just happening. It was about $250 American a night, but it was sweet and just high class and real nice. And we had it to ourselves, not like one of those little rooms in one of those hotels. Anyway, look into it next time.
What do you mean like one of those little rooms? Who says I stay in a little room?
Well,
I don't stay in a little room, sir. A big shot like me don't stay in a little room.
Okay, well, check out the houseboat.
And a big shot like me also don't pay $250 a night American unless you're out of your mind, okay? It's always great being out there on a houseboat, on a canal. Not. But if that's what you like, I'm glad you had a good time. 5670560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. 85,000 empty lines is in one call on the board again. Boy, this has been spotty today. I know they're all away for the holiday weekend. I know they're all bailing out right now. I understand that. But we got 40 minutes, at least I got 40 minutes here, and I'm flying out of here. I'm going to race out of this door like you wouldn't believe. I'm going to run out of here screaming, making guttural sounds as I get out the door. Yeah, just to be as far away from Todd Dreck as I possibly can be. A man who just insists on creating chaos and psychosis everywhere he goes. As opposed to solving problems, he's busy creating ones. Never seen anything like it in my life. Every time you think you've seen it all in this business, and then somebody like that comes along, and the rest of the management are going, like that. Yeah. Instead of saying, cut the crap and start servicing the account, and let's get with the program and stop all the crap disturbing, okay? You simpleton, you. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
Hey, I can't believe that guy who called you, not the one before, but the one before that one.
The one before that, yeah.
Yeah, the one about God and all this.
The one that said, yeah. He's got a message from God.
Every time somebody speaks to me about
Sounds like David Berkowitz, the son of Sam. He also used to talk to God. All the crazy people, they're busy talking to God.
Yeah.
Every time you go into a big city and you walk around downtown, whatever city it's in, and there's these crazy people on street corners handing out leaflets and muttering a lot of gibberish, and you think, boy, these people are crazy. And like I've told you before, the more religious they are, the crazier they are.
Exactly.
And the more dangerous they are.
Exactly. They're fanatics. They're conservative morons. I'm telling you. The way I should look at it is, as long as there's poor people and homeless people here.
Yeah, what's God doing about them? How many billions did we waste on those space shuttles that blew up until we finally got one off the ground yesterday? How many billions? Was it 3 in a row that we wasted, like $5 or $6 billion? And in the meantime, people are starving to death. I guess God isn't giving very good instructions as to what to be doing with all that money.
He Exactly. They're just a bunch of morons. Don't pay any attention to them.
God bless you, sir.
All right.
Okay, don't drink too much. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. It's Memorial Day. You know what that means in America? That's right. It means beer and weenies and more beer and hamburgers and a lot more beer, maybe a few fireworks and a lot more beer. Right. Let's play Beer is Good for You, okay?
No.
No. Can't believe. Well, I can believe. Well, they're under a lot of pressure over there. You know, I don't blame them. Even though that was a terminal show this morning, I blame Rick. 5670560. I do. I blame Rick for a lot. And pound 560 on the mobile one line. Well, he's not allowed to listen to this show anyway, so he won't hear this. Here's a mobile in Boynton Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Long-time caller, first-time listener.
Uh-huh.
Oh, if I can say that. Hey, listen, I read the book that you were reading, Sports on New York Radio.
Yeah. Dave
what
Halberstam.
a great book.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I love that book.
I mean,
I grew up outside New York City, and I remember listening to all those guys.
Right.
Fantastic. Listen, did you ever hear Marv Albert do hockey?
No.
Marv Albert is was a great hockey announcer.
Yeah.
He really was. That's it. I'm out of material.
I heard Win Elliott was the first Rangers announcer I ever heard. He was
I
great,
remember
too.
Win Elliott.
Yeah,
he was
good.
great.
Uh-huh.
He was great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
just remember Ken Albert sucks, okay?
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Neil.
Okay, see ya. I don't want to say there's any nepotism in that family. Steve Albert's the best one in the family, and then Marv's okay when he ain't dressing up too bad. And then with Kenny Albert, he sounds like he's got 80 pounds of cow crap in his mouth. Plus, he looks like the spaceship just landed. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Hollywood, hello.
Yeah, Neil, you sound a little hostile the day after the big loss last night.
No, I'm not hostile at all, sir. I'm in a great mood.
Really? Doesn't sound that way to me.
See, I don't get hostile based on winning or losing a game. I mean, maybe you're emotional about games. I don't get emotional.
You know what you should do, I think, is buy
I think
buy
you
a
should do
ticket.
is Find a Life would be good. Find a Life would be excellent. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. How about a raft would be good? Where you're going, you don't need a ticket. Just a raft would be good to go back where your ancestors came from. All those barbarian Indians down there. Let's go to Medley. Hello.
Neil, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Did you see the movie Net Worth that's going to be on CBC?
It's going to be on CBC?
Yeah.
Did I see the movie Network?
Net Worth, not Network.
You're talking about that hockey thing?
The old hockey one where
that's from last year. That's it's not a movie. Number one, it's a
documentary.
It's a stupid repeat from last year.
Oh, because
I saw it.
It shows from the original 6 teams and how Bill Wirtz and the rest of those son of a sea cooks.
But it's from last year. It's a repeat.
And is the Ice Age also the documentary? Is that a new one?
Oh, that must be the one I'm talking about. I don't know the one you're talking about. Yeah. When is the Net Worth? When's that going to be?
Net Worth is this weekend, and then Ice Age is the first week in June.
Yeah, the Ice Age you don't want to know. Well, unless you missed it. It's a repeat from last year.
Oh, it is a repeat.
They have a lot of time to fill up. So
and lately, you're right, with the camera work and with the interviews, it's terrible.
How do you like that?
I can't.
Here Bob Cole is going to try to call Yannick Perreault gets the first goal of the game, and they're interviewing Martin Biron over there, as if they couldn't interview that punk any other time during the goddamn night, like in between periods would have been nice. But no, we got to do it. They got burned 2 nights ago on the same thing, and the papers, the Toronto Sun, ripped them an ass, and now they do the same goddamn thing again. And you know what? I'm sitting there screaming in my living room saying, look at this, they're going to do it again. You mark my words. There it is. It's in the net, and they can't call a goal because they're doing an interview.
And I'll tell you, I didn't realize that Bob Cole, when Toronto loses, he does cry a little.
Well, you know something, at least he's got some emotion anyway. Wake him up.
And Harry should be woken up more.
Okay, have a great
Bye-bye.
day. Okay, leave Bob and Harry alone. They're old and feeble. 600 open lines. We got a half hour to go here today. It's going to be real nip and tuck right down to the wire, just like the goddamn horse races. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. If you
puts the lotion in the basket.
All right now, everybody gather around. The Gandhi man's here. What kind of protest do you want? Sit in, love in, anything you want, as long as it's non-violent. You've come to the right man, because I'm the Gandhi man. Who can organize a boycott? Organize a boycott. Turn the other cheek.
All right.
Turn the other cheek. We're not afraid of rough. We'll go to prison for a week. The Gandhi man. The Gandhi man. Oh, the Gandhi man. The Gandhi man can. The Gandhi man can, cause he mixes it with love and makes the system look bad. Who can spot an unjust law. Well, even what's the scene? Who can make his own clothes, not afraid to cause a scene? The Gandhi man. The Gandhi man. Oh, the Gandhi man can. Oh, the Gandhi man can. Oh, the Gandhi man can. Cause he mixes it with love and makes the system look bad.
Yeah, man.
The Gandhi man consent that he represents Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, and Asians, or the other religious persuasions, but a very few Caucasians who can really take a beating, who can really take a punch, who can fast without a dinner or a breakfast or a lunch. The Gandhi man. The Gandhi man. Oh, the Gandhi man. Oh, the Gandhi man. The Gandhi man, and cause he mixes it with love and makes the system look bad. Makes the system look bad. Yes, the Gandhi man, and cause he mixes it with love and makes the system look bad. Oh, the Gandhi man. Oh, I'm the all-time king of passive resistance. You'd better do what I say, or I swear I will starve myself to death.
If somebody would have just told him about Atkins, 12:32 at 560. Do I feel some more air coming in here or something?
Maybe a tad.
Like a little burst. I felt like a little burst.
Squirt.
567-0560. Pond, they're working on it, okay? They're working feverishly to correct these things because they know that some of us might not come back for many, many days. If it's going to be sweltering in here, we're going to be schwitzing our brains out. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Hope you have a wonderful holiday weekend. I hope that most of you are going to get to go out of town, go to living and breathing places, which this definitely is not, as you obviously know. And, of course, the rest of you, I do understand why so many of you sound bitter and psychotic because you're here. I can relate to that. Here's a mobile in Pompano. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yeah.
What's your take on that University of Miami Hurricane team this year?
I'm taking it.
Hey, listen, Neil. You know what the scariest part about old Jeb Meister up there in Tallahassee is? Can you imagine if his brother is running this country?
Yeah.
That is scary.
Mm-hmm.
Un-effing believable. Mm-hmm. Hey, also, let me ask you a question.
Oh, America's obsessed with Bush. That's the problem.
Yeah. Listen, I need to ask you your radio...
Never had that problem myself. Yes?
I have a radio question. How come is it that you can go into a Radio Shack and buy a little portable Grundig radio and pick up the DBC, something that's 10,000, 15,000 miles away, but you can't pick up AM station anywhere within this country? Why is that?
Because you really want to know the answer?
That's the American fucking way.
That's right.
No, seriously, do you know
Because
why?
that's on shortwave.
Well, can't you buy a shortwave radio?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's on shortwave, the BBC. You're not getting it on AM. You're getting it on shortwave. Shortwave travels like all over the place.
Is there any radio that you know?
Of course, when you have shortwave, you've also got a like in the background, but that makes it like more British,
Is there any portable radio that you know that you can buy, which you can't pick up radio stations in this country?
What do you mean radio stations in this country? What does that mean?
Oh, okay, like say...
like EDR?
No, I mean you guys. I'm going to be moving up north, but I want to keep in touch, and I don't have a computer.
No. Well, get you a computer. Forget about that. Well, all the money you'd spend for a goddamn high-powered radio, get you a computer.
Okay, two quick things.
Get with it, man. I mean, not having a computer in America today, you're like way behind the times. Get with it.
Yeah, I can't afford it. Listen, two
quick things. You got to go steal one then. You got to have one.
All right, listen, two quick things. I didn't know no Godfather, and Michael Corleone said this, Michael Corleone said that.
What do we do with a piece of that's running around saying this if he's saying these things, huh? What do we do with a piece of crap that's running around a building saying Neil Rogers is an asshole? What do we do with a piece of crap like that? What?
You're a weird guy.
Yeah, I'm a weird guy. That should be the worst thing that was ever said about me. I'm a weird guy. Okay, that's a bulletin. And it's interesting too. Compared to Todd Dreck, I'm about as normal as they come. Talk about weird guys. And talk about Michael Corleone. He's in here a few weeks ago, this Todd Dreck, and I asked him a very simple question about a new account, and he's going, and I'm looking at him like, what language are you speaking? I mean, I ask him the question, and he keeps repeating this, it's like a non-answer, over and over again. Now, of course, many weeks later, I understand why he didn't want to give me an honest answer, because comes to find out that the account belonged to somebody else, and by hook and by crook, all of a sudden he wound up with it, and then it wound up in somebody else's hands. We have all of these things going on now. And in the meantime, is the account getting serviced?
No.
Are we getting copies?
No.
Is somebody doing the job that they're supposed to be doing?
No.
No. And I'm like in limbo as usual. I'm only the guy that's on the air whose ass is on the line trying to do a job for people out there. And am I getting any assistance whatsoever? No, I got people too busy running around stirring up crap. I mean, where the hell did this guy work before? Has he ever been in this business before? I mean, where did he work? That he comes in here and he's got this ego thing, like he's going to show me, okay? He's going to run up and down the halls writing graffiti, my name on a wall or something, okay? As if I give a crap. Just spell it right. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello? Mobile in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, how you doing, sir?
Okay, sir?
Yeah, Neil, right?
Speaking?
Yeah, how you doing?
Okay.
Listen, I just wanted to let you know, I've been thinking about you bad for a while because I usually see you on that TV show and you're usually wearing that yarmulke.
Well, I haven't been on that show for 5 months, sir. The show's been off for a long time.
True, but anyway, I saw you wearing that yarmulke and I said, you know what, this guy's a miserable Jew. I don't even want to listen. I don't even want to look at him.
Yeah.
And I'm driving in the car today, and my friend always listens to you.
Yeah.
And
So in other words,
like,
you're some kind of an anti-Semite, is that what you're saying, sir?
No, sir, but I just...
What do you mean miserable Jew? What does that mean? I'm not
just
miserable
can't
at all
stand
until
these
this
people.
call. You what?
Yeah. I just can't stand these people.
What people?
Jews.
So that's what I just asked you. I said, are you anti-Semitic? And then you said no.
I mean, I'm not anti, but I just...
You just can't stand Jews, yeah.
Jew I meet, I got
So what's your point? What's the, you've had a change of heart?
Anyway, I find I'm driving in the car with my friend, and he's like, listen, this guy is not a Jew. He's an atheist.
Yes.
Well, I just want to let you know I'm going to start listening to your show.
Well, but for you, I'll make an exception. I'm as Jewish as they come, and I am circumcised too, by the way. But I don't kiss on the first date. Okay, get out of here. Anti-Semitic scumbag. Antichrist. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Isn't that amazing? And again, another moron who didn't understand the reason that I was wearing that yarmulke is that I was making fun of the whole practice of putting beanies on your head. Too stupid to understand that. And you want to know why, sir? Because you were blinded by your bigotry. That was the problem. Just like Josh says, okay, if those Arabs would stop being blinded by those schmatters they're wearing on their heads. If they would just see the forest for the trees. And I don't blame Defoe for changing his name to DeForest. I mean, Rogers always worked good for me. 22 before 1 at 560 WQAM, one of the...
Friday, you bastard. Bill cigars in Monica's vagina. All right. She lets out a giggle when he makes it wiggle. Monica is not the kind you can do in the behind, but a cigar in her vagina she don't mind.
Rectum.
Well, he don't know where a stogie goes. I can see how there was some confusion between humidor and humid whore.
Yes.
And in Arkansas, the term cedar box means saw her naked. Stars report can lead to going blind. Now Clinton, he was working hard, late nights in the ovary office, working on a practical joke. He took a Macanudo, put an exploding load in, for Monica was blowing rings of smoke. Bill cigars in Monica's vagina. She lets out a giggle every time he makes it wiggle. Monica is not the kind you can do in the behind.
No.
But a cigar in her vagina, she don't mind.
Okay.
Oh, people feel that Hillary's been made a fool of by her husband. Feel that Hillary was wronged. Up in the Lincoln bedroom, she was moaning, moaning. Al Gore was doing her with Bill's old bong. Bill cigars in Monica's vagina. She lets out a giggle Every friggin' time he makes it wiggle. Monica is not the kind you can do in the behind, but a cigar in her vagina she don't mind. Oh, Candy, you dandy, yeah, Dutch master is faster. Oh, yeah. What you gotta do is take a Tipperillo and put it in a brick. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, now what you gonna do? Oh, yeah.
12:45 at 560 WQM. I haven't gotten into this because it's very depressing, but nevertheless. For the first time since Madeleine Murray O'Hair vanished in 1995, investigators said the nation's foremost atheist and two of her children were killed, and the crime was orchestrated by her former office manager in a plot to steal $600,000.
Boy!
And of course, I'm sure he's a good religionist. So, isn't another example of the non-believers being murdered by the believers who want to rip off their money? That's basically what it's all about. If you're looking for their bodies, by the way, they might be in oil drums somewhere there in Texas. They're still looking for them. And Madeleine probably don't smell too good right now. Well, she was getting old. Here's Sunrise. Hello, with 2 question marks, by the way. Hello.
Yeah?
Yes, sir?
I have a preview for the 1 o'clock hour.
How come there are 2 question marks on this phone call on the computer here?
I'm sitting in for the old man who went to go get hot gay sex, Cuba, Montana.
Uh-huh, okay. Here's Mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
If you hate this...
Good guess, George.
Hello?
What is it? If I hate this town, how come I'm here?
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, you always complain about how you can't stand the town of Florida. Why you still here?
The town of Florida is Florida town, sir?
Oh, whatever.
You know where to find it on a map?
Florida.
Do you know where to find it?
You know what I'm saying. If you hate it so much, why are you here? I like your show and all. I'm just curious.
Your curiosity killed a cat, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe I like it here.
Oh, you like it here?
I said maybe I like it here, but it would be boring to say I like it here. It's more exciting to say it's grotesque.
Okay, so you do it for...
I didn't say what I do it for. Maybe I hate it here, maybe I like it. I'd rather be an enigma, keep you guessing, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Anybody think I love it here?
No.
Okay. I'm making a lot of money here, pal. I'm doing okay. And like I said, I don't give a crap anymore now. I really love it here. I'm not going to worry about professionalism and about people doing things right and about people running business the way it ought to be. Forget about that. This is Florida. We do it the Florida effing way, man. Get with the program. WQAM. WQAM. Going once. See, every time I pick it up cold, man, I have the greatest luck. It's always somebody that I catch off guard who's waiting to do like some crap, you know. Got a little crap up their sleeve. Every time. Because it's like dealing with a bunch of school children doing this show. That's what I've discovered over these last 70 or 80 years I've been doing this show in Miami. It's like dealing with a bunch of little school kids. And like I said before, some of these people are honest-to-God adults in their 30s and 40s and 50s and 100 and 150. And what were they like when they were kids, you know? What were they like when they were younger? Were they assholes then, too?
Uh-huh.
Is that what it was? Because when you're an asshole when you're young, the logic is that maybe when you get old, you'll be an old asshole. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. You know what I'm getting at? I think you do. Here's Pompano Beach. Hello. Pompano Beach.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Okay.
You keeping the same hockey seats for next year?
Yes.
Are you?
Uh-huh.
Got a question for you. How do you make 4 gay men in a bar happy?
Uh-huh, okay. Another joke. Another guy with nothing to say, okay, who starts out, am I keeping the same hockey seats? Are you writing a book, sir? Although, quite frankly, if you're going to be sitting close to those seats, I might reconsider. Here's Miami. Hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing today, sir?
Great. Never been better, pal. I've got over my little indigestion I had, and I'm feeling real good. I'm going to get out of this town, and God only knows what will happen.
Well, I know you're probably not going to want to talk about it, but how about
what?
Stu Barnes?
What about it?
Well, see the goal, the game winner yesterday?
I saw it. Yes, of course I saw it. Stu Barnes is a good... Who was the one that was screaming when we gave away Stu Barnes, and also Jason Woolley, by the way, who had the first goal for Buffalo the other night, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly right. So you don't have to sell me on Stu Barnes. He's a hell of a clutch player. I know that.
Yeah,
you should have asked Doug McClain and Brian Murray about how about that Stu Barnes.
What's Doug McClain doing now? I mean,
He's sitting up there in Columbus. We're waiting for the straitjackets to start.
Oh, no chance that he's going to come back into the
He's with the Columbus. He got a job up there, so he's not coming back here. He's coming back the same week Phil Hendrie's coming back, okay? Oh, God. Here's a man who didn't like Marty Straka, didn't like Stu Barnes, Doug McClain. They like, he was a good guy, good sit-down comedian. Was he a good judge of talent?
No.
Is he coming back? Huh?
No.
Don't start pretending about hockey with me, sir. The people in here in this town, Hockminishke Chinik with your hockey, you know nothing about it. Stick to something you know about, like early bird dinners and how come I hate Florida so much. Stick with the material you know something about. Very limited categories. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. That's it. Stick with that. You're excellent with that. There's nobody in the world better than that than the Floridians. Especially in South Florida. Over on the West Coast, you people in Fort Myers, you better work on your so you can catch up with us. 10 before 1 at 560 WQM, the George Rodriguez show between 1 and 2. So that guy who called a couple of minutes ago with his Montana and that you were busy talking to somebody, that was one of your bashers, by the way. One of those assholes. I got news for you, okay? George does a fine job, and even though he's often full of crap, nevertheless, we're not here for content. We're here to do a show. We're here to entertain. We're here to help to kill a little time in your life. You know what I'm talking about?
Can't beat that gator meat.
Saddam Hussein's a motherfucker. Saddam Hussein's a motherfucker. Saddam Hussein's a motherfucker. Saddam Hussein's a motherfucker. Iraq's a crappy little country. Smells like the mustache on his face.
Yes.
Just get rid of that. You're in drinking chubby and blow up the whole goddamn place. Saddam Hussein's a motherfucker. 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 Saddam Hussein's a motherfucker.
So George says to me during the break, just as it was about to end, by the way, aren't you leaving now? See, the reason I did that is because it's a force of habit. I'm used to running the last break at 10 to 2 as opposed to right before 2 because I don't want to back spots in a Hank show because only assholes do things like that, like every now and then at the morning show. And I really don't blame them because when they got their format, what are they going to do anyway when you got all spots radio? And now that I understand that, I don't blame them as much, although in Dito's case I'll make an exception. But at any rate, so that's the reason I did that, force of habit. So here I am stuck with another 5 minutes here, where I could be out the door. I could be already down in the car. I could be out the Hershey Highway right now. But why would I want to do that when I can talk to a lady in Indiana? Hello?
Hi, I have an idea for you.
Yes?
Okay, double jeopardy is not legal in the United States, but it is in other countries. So we need to find out where it's legal, and we can send OJ there, and they can try him again.
Mm-hmm.
You like that?
No.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. You like that? She's calling from Indiana, allegedly, but she sounded like the ditzy broad to me, didn't she? Huh? She wasn't from Indiana. Maybe she was from Boy Gary, Indiana. Or maybe that was Boy Gary doing a voice. Anybody seen him lately, by the way?
No.
Yeah, we want to apologize to Steve Nickel, to Boy Gary, to everybody. Because now that we've met Todd Dreck, now we really understand what scraping the barnacles off the bottom of the ship is all about. Man who doesn't have the cojones to come in here and deal with his accounts. A man who, surreptitiously is running around in the middle of the night, whispering and writing graffiti on the walls and uttering all of these things. Like Neil is weird, really weird. And here's Davey. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Did you see the movie The Unforgiven?
No.
Well, they had a sign up in front of this town that said no firearms. And I know I'm being naive, but why can't we get some kind of referenda in certain places about not having firearms in our county and so forth and so on? By the way, also, Mr. Rodriguez's show is excellent. I would even consider listening to him better than you, and I love your show.
Right, better than me. Oh, that's good.
And he's good. He still sounds like a fag, but he's good.
Yeah, uh-huh.
But DNH.
Well, okay. Another guy with no material. That's one of your biggest fans, okay? He sounded like Kathy Bates to me. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am?
Hi, Neil. This is the elevator lady. Hello?
The elevator lady?
Yeah, from the Panther game. Oh, it's too long ago. It doesn't matter. I'm calling to let you know.
Yeah, from the old arena, you mean?
Yeah. It's been a while.
From 100
How are
years
you?
ago. Yeah, okay.
Good. This is for Jim Baker and that little Hitler guy that called. They didn't realize that you're not an atheist. You're God.
Yeah.
I wanted to let them know that. No, I just don't like. I just wanted to let you know that that really bothers me when people are so ignorant.
What bothers you? That there's
they
anti-Semites
little
out
hit.
there? That there are a lot of
Exactly.
bigots out there?
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's ridiculous, and it bothers me. It really bothers me. I just wanted to let you know.
Well, maybe somebody will steal his beanie for the holidays.
They shouldn't take this show so seriously either.
Okay, have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye. That's right. They shouldn't take the show so seriously. See, you're taking them seriously. It's only business, and you're taking it personal. You know what I'm saying? Just calm down, lighten up, have 30 or 40 more beers. It's the American effing way, and enjoy your Memorial Day. So anyway, I backed myself into a corner here, but you know what? There's always an easy way out.
Sports Radio 560, WTAN, Fort Lauderdale.
It's the 1 to 2 hour.
Well, I work in the rear, and I've got no fear. Only go where no man has gone before me. Now bite your lip and remove that slip. Acquire taste that leaves you empty. Oh! The easily disgusted think that it's heinous. But like a spaceman, I'm circling your anus. Oh! It tastes like a penny to me. The sweetest sphincter I've seen. Your moon is shining on me. Tastes like a penny to me. Well, I shaved and depraved. The tongue lashed not just cave. It makes the hair on my dad stand straight up. Now I'm a real trooper. Got my tongue up in your pooper. He's out enough to shoot till it's empty up. I got a mustache made of feces. My friends call me number 2. I heard you yelling caca, but I prefer you. You heard it tastes like a penny to me. The sweetest sphincter I've seen. The moon is shining on me. It tastes like a penny to me. Now put away that KY, 'cause darling, I'm going in dry.
Rectum.
Trust me, I won't hurt you. Things get nice and loose when I derail your caboose. And I wash it all down with a nice cold brew. Doing what I do leaves me feeling like a man. You'll find it hard to sit down when I get done with your can.
Are you sure?
It tastes like a penny to me. The sweetest sphincter I've seen. Your moon is shining on me. It tastes like a penny. Tastes like a penny. Tastes like a penny to me.
102.